this entire time.
Oh,
You're completely correct.
I told you that
God
before
damn
you
it.
left, and then you didn't do anything.
God damn it! I didn't hear you.
I put it in chat.
You typed it.
Well, yet another case of pre-shows that will not be showing up on YouTube. This is the second time that's happened. I mean, the first time it happened was because OBS crashed, but there's a lot of yapping that won't be on the YouTube side of things. Unfortunately, apparently.
Yapping on the ew.
Damn.
Damn.
Unfortunate.
I like linked it out and everything with the YouTube link. That's very unfortunate. Well, that's fine. We're up now, so okay. I don't know if they do pre-roll ads on the YouTube side of things, so we should just be okay to still just start. All right, we're gonna get started then. We're all here, right? We're not missing anybody for this. Okay,
I
good.
think we're all here.
Okay. All right, let's get going. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting week at the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time, and then Spotify later. We're here to continue our discussions about Higurashi, When They Cry, the manga. This week, specifically, is the time-killing arc, a.k.a. Himatsubushihen. Himatsubushihen, which is the last of the questions arc, but also we have a bonus manga original thing next or something. We'll deal with that next week.
Technically, the last one was supposed to be last questions arc, but you know.
Well, we'll get into that later. So we're here to discuss the time-killing arc, but before we get into that, let's introduce our guests that we have here this week in alphabetical order, as usual. Arimia, how, Heart, introduce yourself.
How? I'm Arimia. I like shonen shit. Yeah, I haven't really been. I read a book earlier this week that was very, 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 very dark.
Was it Higurashi time-killing arc?
Say that like this
We'll
isn't
see.
the lightest of them.
Yeah, I was about to say.
The one I read had about every content warning under the sun. In graphic detail, some of them.
They also curse you
Called
to say every
Oh,
story
boy.
sentence with her
Okay, one
Called
at a time.
It called The Spirit Bears Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. Phew. The fun summary of this is it's a trans for trans romance in Victorian England in a fantasy setting. The actual description of it is, dear Lord, the horrors of being a woman and a minority. Not a racial minority, but gender minorities.
You sound very scared during the entire duration of this recommendation, by the way. I just want you to know.
It's very odd.
It was very well written. I recommend it, but it was a harrowing read. Very, very harrowing.
Would you say it's good?
Yeah, all right.
Very well written.
I hear the word good.
I 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Very
Right.
well written. Very terrifying. Very, very terrifying. The horrors.
Oh,
But in other
sounds
news,
cool.
I'm also reading the game narrative Kaleidoscope, 100+ essays on the craft of game writing, collated
my
by John
God.
Ingold.
Oh my god, that's a lot of essays.
They're like very short essays each. They're like 2 or 3 pages each. So it's
Oh.
actually a really good read so far. I haven't read too much of it, but very easy to read because it's literally just 100+ game writers put in like just tell me one piece of advice for game writing, and that's what they did for like 2 or 3 pages each. So very easy to read. Just came out earlier this month. And I got a physical copy of it. Came in pretty quick. So, yeah.
Wow.
Nipa.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Ari. And with a new microphone, too. Oh, my God. All right. Next up, Bacon Castell. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bacon Castle. I'm also Nyan Bacon. You may also hear me referred to as Nyan or Andy. I use he, they pronouns, please. No she, her. I do not like it. And my recommendation this week is you should subscribe. Well, not subscribe. You should follow my Twitch. It is the Nyan Bacon. We stream Terraria every Saturday, except for when I don't feel like it. I'm currently digging lots of tunnels and I'm having a good time. And I think we're fighting the Wall of Flesh this Saturday. So
The Wall of Flesh.
you guys should come hang out. It'll be fun.
Is there a wall of flesh in Terraria?
Yeah,
Goes down.
there's apparently like the beginning and then hard mode, and the Wall of Flesh is the last boss that you defeat in the beginning before you enter hard mode, and a bunch of like stuff changes and there's a bunch of bosses and stuff. So I've never fought it before. This will be my first time, so I'm super excited, and we'll be streaming it on my channel, The Nyan Bacon. So you should go follow me.
Yeah, go check out twitch.tv/the Nyan Bacon. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Shadow Man V 3.4. Introduce yourself.
I'm Shadow. I haven't played Duel Monsters 1 recently, so the thing I recommend for this week is to watch Fuse Hunter, because we're playing Mega Man Base Friday at the same time as we start here, actually.
Yeah,
It's like almost 24 hours from now.
Go check out Fuse Hydrate, aka twitch.tv/Fuse Hunter, who is also celebrating the Opalboversary, which is why I have the Tanuki face on my Fugi tonight. So go check out Fuse Hunter. And when did you say that was tomorrow at the same time that we start this?
Yeah.
All right, go check that out if you're interested in that. Thank you so much for that, Shadow.
I'm definitely going to win, though.
Oh, declaration of victory. I believe it. All right, next up, Thrice Demoned Away. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Thrice. Also Mike, she, they. My recommendation is The Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife. It is a currently streaming anime. There's a new episode tonight, and I'm so excited.
Hell yeah. It was cute from the first episode I saw. I might go back and watch more later. We will see.
Very, very cute little supernatural rom-com vibe.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for that. Next up, me, Wolfborg, aka Chaplin, aka the best anime book club host ever of all time, who still hasn't thought of a name for the Higurashi stuff yet. I don't know why I keep delaying it. I just keep forgetting, I think, usually. I'll come up with a name eventually, okay? I'll come up with a Higurashi.
You're just gonna die 50 more times before you come up with something.
She's fine. She's fine. She'll be fine. Anyways, for recommendation, I would recommend, I like promoting some indie games every now and then, and I would like to promote a very, very niche game you might not have heard of called Uma Musume Pretty Derby, which I got back into again recently. So you should go do that, and you should, do that. I was gonna shout out a good horse to raise the stats on, but there's too many good horses. I don't know. I like Fine Motion. I like Daiwa. I like fucking Ayabe. Go check them out. There you go. There's a couple off the top of my head. All right. Next up, Women Apologist. Introduce yourself.
Hi, that's me. I'm Marianne, or Anne, whichever you prefer. In honor of us finally finding out what happened to Rika, our recommendation is going to be the song Interlude Moving On by Paramore.
Ooh. All right. Go check out that song if you're interested. I've probably heard the song. Maybe.
Probably,
maybe. I'm not pulling it up right
it's
now because
self-titled.
I don't feel like having my stream get take it down for copyright, so we're not going to play it here.
It'd be
But
funny though, Chad.
You don't want
It'd
to
be
copyright
it'd
take
be-
down from the music industry?
it would
Come
not
on,
be.
Chef.
It would not be funny. It would not be comedy. Okay,
It'd be
I already forgot to
Uncomedia.
hit. I already forgot to hit start on the YouTube side of things. Okay, so
I
no,
mean-
Who calls that?
we don't need the VOD to be burned too.
It would be funny. I don't
are-
know that it would be worth it for the bit, but it would be funny.
It'd be funny.
Uh-huh.
That's what matters.
All right. Well, go check
Remember
out that
you-
song. Go check out the song if you're interested in that. That's all you got. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that. And now let's begin our discussions on Higurashi When They Cry Himatsubushihen, the time killing
Himatsubushi.
arc. So, what do we got
A lot
this
of
week?
time.
Well, this week,
Come on, Chap. Don't pull a Tsukehame on us.
Tesukihami? I think I killed that shit. So, we're here to discuss not the events that we've come to know of Keiichi's day-to-day life.
Keiichi who?
Keiichi is not here this time. Where is
Shadow,
bro?
forget
Where
something.
Right, I
Where-
don't know her.
where is he at? Where is he at? What is it, Shadow? What?
Me and Andy weren't here.
Okay, okay, that's all right. All right, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Teacher, we missed class.
All right, did you finish your homework assignments? Did you? All right, let's grade your paper. Did you solve the mysteries yet? All right, who wants to go
Yes.
first? Who wants to share some thoughts here for what you
Clearly
missed?
he has, with how he's raising his hand.
I guess we'll start with Andy, since Andy had to cover a few weeks of not being here in Shadow. I think only missed one. So what do you
I only missed
what do you
one.
got for us, Andy, for your experiences, your updates on your experiences with Higurashi?
So there were a few things that came to mind. One is I'm trying to remember everything that I'd mentioned in the spoiler zone so that people who aren't in the Discord
You
can
can
get
scroll
what all my
up.
thoughts were.
That's effort.
The one thing that had stuck out to me in week 2, cotton drifting, was that we didn't see the demon mark on Mion. And that was the one where the drug syringe was found at the bottom of the well with Rika. So my thought was maybe the mark that she didn't show had been like some kind of drug injection site, since we didn't get a chance to see it. Was honestly kind of my only thought that I had through the cotton drifting arc. I really liked the curse killing arc. Keiichi's so me-coded, oh my god. When I was going into it, and even now, like after finishing the time killing arc, I was kind of enjoying the idea, and I don't know how true this is, but the idea that each story is the same events told from the perspective of different characters, right? So the first one was Rina, the second one was Mion, the third one was Sakoto,
yeah.
Satoko. And the fourth one was Rina. And obviously the fact that the time killing arc didn't
Rika.
really focus on Rika, sorry.
Mhm.
Didn't really focus on Keiichi, kind of threw a wrench in that. But the kind of flip side is like I feel like you can almost read the interaction that Rika had with the detective as maybe the way like she would be interacting with Keiichi or something. I'm kind of latching, it might be a weird reading, but I'm kind of latching on to the idea that technically like like with Umineko, I mean, I'm gonna be comparing it to Umineko because obviously
It makes
That's
sense.
fine,
that's
I can't
fine.
blame you.
But like the fact with like Umineko, there is one explanation. So the idea that there is one explanation, but these are how each of the characters understood and processed that explanation is kind of how I'm approaching the reading. Which has been a really interesting way to kind of approach that. And so that was a fun way to read Cotton Drifting and Curse Killing. Big fan of what happened in Curse Killing. Obviously, I think it kind of revealed the most about what's gonna happen. And I think in my head, it's probably the most loyal to what truly happened. Minus Keiichi surviving. I don't think he survived. I'm trying to remember if there was anything about the curse killing arc that I had wanted to mention. but I don't think so. I just really like the curse killing arc. I was a big fan of it. That's why I keep mentioning it. And the thing about like reading each version from a different perspective of like all of the characters that are involved has been a fun way to read it, because then you can kind of like compare all of the actions and stuff and see like what's consistent, how are they understanding this event differently. So that's been pretty fun.
Okay. As an artist, how did you feel about the differing artist styles that we had going on in the series so far? If you had any thoughts, at least.
I will admit that my converter, for some reason, squashed the pages.
Oh
So
my
I think I
God.
was reading a little bit of a slightly skewed. Yeah, I don't know what
Oh my
happened, but it made
God.
them like shorter.
No, hold on.
So
That's
it's-
just what Oishi looks like. Just to be clear, that's just what he looks like. In case
I
you're like, why the
No,
fuck does he
they
look
were
like
messed
that?
up.
Yeah. That's just what he looks like. Yeah.
I hate that man.
Everyone else was messed up. Oishi was not.
She was not. I thought that I really liked. Well, I don't remember. It's kind of funny because you asked that, but to be honest, like looking back on it, they all have such similar vibes. It's kind of hard for me to discern between the differences, you know?
Mm.
And that might be because I read them all in such quick succession. But like, because they all give, I don't know, like that original style with like the big mitt hands and the huge eyes that like aren't really anatomically correct. That very like 1990s, 2000s anime style. I don't really notice much of a difference. I just hate Oishi. I hate how he's drawn. I never told him. Get that man out of here.
Even this one, you know, like how he looked in this one. I thought he looked the least ugly in this one, at least. But
He did. It almost makes me wonder how much of it was like their like the artist skill, because like as an artist, most of the characters that I draw are like between 15 and like 30, so I know how to draw like that very specific age range. So it makes me question like how much of Oishi's drawing is a lack of skill in drawing older men, and how much of it is a deliberate choice in how they convey Oishi's character.
Yes.
I see.
But I hate him and I hope he dies. He doesn't, but I wish he would.
I forget, what was his status at the end of the curse killing arc? Because that's the one that gave us the status of everybody. Was he supposedly killed himself, or did he disappear or something? I forget.
think
what
he was
happened with that
missing.
one.
Didn't they just find his car or something? But not
Oh,
him.
probably.
That's
I think
right. I forgot
possibly.
about that.
Well, he's alive later in this week's thing, but I forgot to go back and check to see what his status was supposed to be in the last one. I was just like, wait, what did happen with him? What happened to him? Well, supposedly he's alive. Supposedly.
I pulled it up. Kodaodo Uichi, June 20th, 1983, went missing during an investigation.
Okay.
And then
He got better.
investigation ended.
He got better. He found himself.
Yeah,
he got
Found
better.
himself
Obviously.
later.
He went missing, but he got better.
He got
You
better.
know, the gas leak actually helped him. He's looking much
Yeah, it's
better
actually a
now.
metaphor about him going on a life-changing road trip with Luke.
Yeah.
Where did he have his car parked during the incident? Did he have to get a new car? Does the new car have AC? Like, what's happening?
I like how the AC hasn't been mentioned since that first chapter,
The
the first
AC
arc. I'm kind of disappointed
Is an integral character on, you know.
because I think he
It's
like
kind of his only
invited
redeeming quality.
he like
AC in his car.
invited the detective to his car, but didn't mention that it had AC, and I was like, damn, that was just a throwaway line. How could they do this to us? That was so funny.
Man.
Integral.
He really
person.
does like inviting people into his car, though.
He really does,
I gotta know.
and they really
Rikushi.
just like go with him.
I don't
Yeah,
know
they're
if-
like, this guy's suspicious. I guess I have to go with him.
Yeah, why wouldn't you trust a cop?
Rikushi might be playing a big trick on us. His car might not have AC in it. It might just be a whole trick by Rikushi. That might be what's going on here. That's why we only heard it the one time. It was a lie. It was not said in red. So,
You enter the car and you
Without
are filled
love, it
with
can't be
magic
seen.
popcorn.
all
I
right.
liked Shadow. I did when I was reading Cotton Drifting. Shadow did have to. I was like, I think I had messaged So
No,
when
no,
are we
we-
going to get
no,
the
no, no,
reveal
we
that
were Discord.
Shion
We
and
were-
Neon
we
are
were
the same
all together.
person? And Shadow had been like, Ari had to say in Red Truth during that stream that Shion and Neon are not the same person. And I was like, I
It's
don't
a
believe her.
logical conclusion.
There's two. There's just two. But I don't remember if you were here for the one stream where we had our theories.
No.
Actually, no, I don't think you were. Just what if everybody has a twin in this town? Okay, what if there's just multiple people with twins in this town? All right. What if
She's
the
Keiichi's
Sonozakis
twin.
are not twins? What if they're actually triplets? All right, and we just haven't
I
been
get
told
this.
yet.
I get this sense in my head that they said that the gas leak happened like after the cotton drifting. I think it's been
Yes.
happening this whole time. And they just haven't
Yeah.
realized.
No, the gas
listen.
leak is coming from the AC in the car. They don't.
No, the AC in the car is the only
The
safe. thing,
freons
actually.
in the air.
This is the furthest he's ever made it.
All right. Andy, any other things you wanted to convey to us about the previous
Not
weeks?
off the top of my head.
Okay. Shadow, what did you have to convey for the week that you weren't here for? If you have anything.
Okay, so,
So you
I
missed
decided to
Curse
actually
Killing Arc,
watch
right?
the VOD. Yeah,
Yep.
that's Curse Killing Arc. Okay, so I had to watch the VOD. And I realized you guys kind of missed something.
What's that?
Okay, so you mentioned before, oh, where'd the body go? Right?
Which
Which
one?
one?
Yeah, there was
Oh, the
multiple
uncle?
bodies.
The buried one.
Oh,
the buried
yes.
one.
Yeah.
So I figured out what happened.
Okay, what's that?
Hey, Keiichi, let's go treasure hunting. Oh, I wonder what that means.
Oh,
The treasure
And that they
hunting that was in
uncovered
the...
I don't
treasure
think
hunting was in the
Keiichi killed
junkyard,
the
wasn't it?
uncle.
he was Kenta-kun the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's freaking Kenta-kun.
Oh.
Oh.
It was all
Allegedly.
Kenta-kun.
Legally distinct KFC, man.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I think I understand what you're saying now. When you're saying when they showed up to him after, where they were trying to say, "Oh, you were really drunk at the festival last night," where they were clearly like spelling out his alibi. They were like, "Hey, you want to
Yeah.
go treasure hunting later?" And then the treasure hunting was actually just them moving the body together. Is what you're saying?
I assume so.
Okay, because we didn't actually see that. He didn't go with them though, right?
No, he didn't
at
go
least
with
not that
them.
So their treasure
No, he
hunting might have
stopped
just
and,
been that.
Went to the clinic.
Okay, so their treasure
Yeah,
hunting
he
might
was
just been that
oblivious
from what I
about
was-
it.
Well, that adds on
He thought he
to
really just lost.
that that does add onto what I think me and maybe some other people like Aztec were saying last week, where probably the body was not there anymore because the village is better at covering up the murders, so they all just did it for him. They said, "You're gonna fuck this up, so we're gonna fix this for you real quick. We know you did it. We don't have a problem with that, so we'll help you out."
No
with covering
issue
up.
with telling that.
You did us a solid, so we'll
No,
help you out
exactly.
this time.
Yeah,
He
you know,
was-
it's like in the second arc, you know, where they helped out each other during the maid cafe thing.
Yeah, you know, as
Yeah.
long as you don't leave the village ever, you're one of us. Just don't leave. You're
One of us, one of us.
Okay, interesting theory. Anything else you have to share about last week's show?
No.
All right, sweet. So,
Wait, hold on, do I? I feel
uh,
like there was
oh.
something. Quick, press me.
my
Huh?
main takeaway from last week was just that fucking Keiichi was supposedly very smart in his own way. He's supposed to be a genius, and then he was
That
probably
was wild.
he was probably the dumbest
50.
motherfucker of all last week.
He is very smart, okay?
Like-
50 IQ, jumping up to 500 IQ.
Everybody's jumping around to give him an alibi. Wow, you were really drunk last night, Keiichi, while you hung out with us at the festival. And then he goes to ask people, was I, did you see somebody else? I actually didn't see you at all there, actually, but I heard you were there.
He goes to EDA. It's like, "What- have you ever heard of like people saying they saw you somewhere and you weren't there? Is it
The other-
possible that someone that looks just like me?"
Like
And then EDA is just like, okay, so this boy is clearly dissociating and out of his mind.
Oh yeah.
So we had that moment, and then we had Takano just being like, "Oh, what fancy shovel you got there in the middle of the rain? You want me to give you a ride home? Okay. By the way, we didn't meet tonight." He's like, "What? Why? We didn't meet tonight. It's for your own good."
What do you mean tonight?
He's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Oh, the bike you saw in the back. You didn't see that either." Oh, well, okay. Well, the bike
mean-
that
you-
belonged to
that-
the photographer.
Yeah, you mean
Okay, so I did. Okay, you guys have reminded me of things that I thought of. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
I know we're supposed to be talking about.
Don't
Okay,
apologize.
so that part with Takano kind of confused me because I mean, obviously, it's hard to assess how much of this is like accurate to what actually happened. But I was having so much trouble figuring out what her motivation would have been to kill the photographer.
I
Because
wonder.
okay.
Look, okay, she's really hated photography. That's it, okay?
I just wonder.
She was just doing it to
Yeah,
test
true.
out, you know, her theories regarding the curse. She's like, listen, if I stage a killing this year with the curse, that'll throw off the village. You know, it'll be
Don't throw off the ropes. They won't
or
understand.
or perhaps she was testing to see if you know, doing that would be enough to appease the god Oyashiro-sama, or if another death happens, then she's like, oh, okay.
No, it's just a horrible accident. They got really into a scene and it went wrong.
Oh, I see.
And then the thing about Keiichi being like really smart, that was another thing that I had kind of used to argue my idea of like this is how each different person interpreted the events. Because I mean, it maybe necessarily wouldn't make sense, but if
Satoko.
Satoko.
I keep worrying that I'm messing it up. If Satoko sees Keiichi as like her older brother, and is, you know, doing all of those tricks and stuff with him, it would make sense that his continued learning would um lend itself to the credibility of the idea that it is how she sees him, but like
Yeah.
isn't necessarily how he is actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just supporting my theories.
Okay. And then the other big thing that happened last week was the everybody dying from a
I think
natural
I had
disaster.
said so I think I had said in the spoiler zone, I was like, wow, awful convenient that it almost seems to be implied that Keiichi hit that water pipe that supposedly pulls water from that swamp. Gee golly, I wonder why there might have been a gas explosion shortly after Keiichi thought that he buried the uncle. Wow. Was kind of my big takeaway from that.
So I had to, well, one, I think I did note that, but the other thing for me is the question at the end of the conflicting supposed story. Supposedly he was one of the only survivors because of being found being knocked out in at like a part of the river where it would have gone through, and he would have been sleeping through it overnight, and it would have killed him, but he's not dead. Which tells me one of two things happened. Either one, Keiichi was fucking lying about how he survived all that, or two, a gas leak did not happen at all. And if a gas leak did not happen at all, then the question is, how the fuck did all these people die? Because all these people did die. So,
oh boy, do I have an answer for you, chap. Later, though.
The thing that I'm hung up on is, I'm gonna say this now because it's relevant to the conversation we're having. At the end of the time killing arc, they mentioned the book that the detective who was like Amakusa but not Amakusa, and
Akasaka.
okay, Amakusa.
It's fine, you don't have to
Stray
remember him.
Dogs guy.
You don't
you mean
have to
Bungo Stray
remember.
Dogs guy? Yeah, I was trying to remember who Amakusa was. I was like, who the fuck is Amakusa? Oh, Bungo Stray Dogs guy. Oh, it's him. That's him.
So
Stray Dogs guy.
the thing that kind of got me was the idea that they put together this whole book on what happened during the events of like that final cotton drifting or whatever, and they mention the like afterword of the book, but at no point in the book do they mention the theoretical tapes that have like the incorrect dates and Keiichi's confession or whatever, nor do they mention or take any time to mention the note from the first arc. And I know that it's, you know, like it's time killing for a reason, and it's probably like it's entirely possible it's intended to be a red herring, but again, after how things went in Umineko, that makes me wonder why they maybe didn't mention what those kind of like key takeaways, why they didn't mention those key takeaways from the earlier arcs. Also, I don't think the doctor killed himself. I think he was murdered.
That one I would definitely buy. I don't know of anybody in the moments of everything exploding and multiple people dying. I don't know if anybody who supposedly killed themselves actually killed themselves. To be clear, I don't. But you know, what do I know? Yeah, the stuff regarding the book that they publish at the end, I want to talk a little more about it, but before we get into that, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You're probably wondering how this book got here. Well, to answer that, we have to go back to what year?
Records
It was
for
like
Ice
6 years before the events of
I got
normal. I don't remember what year this starts in, but it's supposedly when the
78 or 79? 78.
probably is when they were protesting the dam project, because the dam project was still in the works.
I think
at
it
this
was
time.
9 because I remember it ending with a 9. I just forgot the rest of the date.
I'm trying to scroll through to find it now. Summer 1985 is the future thing, and then where they met up and talked about it, and then we go back to summer 1978 is what it says.
Damn, I was wrong.
Hey.
So summer 1978, we're seeing a different detective as our protagonist. I was like, are we gonna? I was seeing some cops doing stuff, and I was worried for a second. I was like, is Oishi gonna be our protagonist this time? No, it's this guy.
Imagine.
It's
I would have been so mad.
Thankfully not.
it's not
No, I got
Bungo Stray
better.
Dogs guy. It's Akasaka.
Genuinely,
His name
You
is
don't have to remember. You
I
don't
glazed
have to
over his
remember.
name every single time that it got mentioned because I was
Incredibly
like,
important character.
Bungo Stray Dogs guy.
His name is Akasaka. He's very
No,
integral to the
Bungo Stray Dogs
plot.
guy.
Very integral. He has a
That sounds
wife
like
he
a
has to get
fake
home
name.
to.
He's as important as Amakusa.
He has a wife
was
he
so
has
not
to
at
get
all.
home to. Don't worry. He's gonna call his wife tomorrow. Don't worry. He's
The fucking picture is more important.
listen. Okay, so Akasaka here is sent to go investigate the village back during the dam project happening, specifically because this is also around the time when the director of the dam project's grandson and or son, I forget who it was, grandson or son?
I think grandson.
Grandson was kidnapped, and they were trying to keep it secret, but they believed that they were kidnapped most likely by some of the protesters involved with the dam project, in order to try to gain leverage to get the dam project to close. That was the idea. So they send Akasaka to try to go investigate in secret to get more information on the protesters as a tourist in the village at first. And so he goes there, and he immediately meets Rika, young Rika, who is the focus of the main cast focus for this week. The main girl here is Rika. I don't think we actually see. Actually, no, we see Shion and or Mion later. Oh, Mion and or Shion. You know what I mean. We see at least
Mion.
one of the twins, and we may have also seen the other twin as well in one of the scenes.
One of the
I think is
triplets.
What happens? Yeah, one of the triplets, of course.
No.
The quintessential
Fucking
quintuplets, of course.
spoiled. Jesus.
The Sonozaki quintuplets, of course. So meets Rika. Rika's just a little baby child, okay, hanging out with him as he goes to explore the village. He has an actual tour guide who's also there. Rika just happened to be there when he showed up as well, so she's just been hanging with him, and they're talking about stuff, and she seems fine. And then she gets a little weird sometimes, and supposedly knows things are gonna happen. What's going on with that? But Akasaka here is trying to investigate and grab as much information as he can for what the protesters are doing, trying to keep it a secret that he's a detective. Literally everybody knows that he's a detective, I think, pretty much. The whole village was informed prior that somebody was going to potentially show up, and Rika even met up with him as he showed up. So, you know, the village people that run it, the real people that run it, aka the Sonozaki head and Kimiyoshi, I think too. they know. So it was interesting though to see their how the village was protesting it. I do very much. I will say this as a general like initial thoughts about this. I was very interested with this week's arc. One, because we got a lot more information that we didn't really know about before, as in we got to literally see the events happening back then during the Dam Project, which you only heard about. And two, we got to see more of like what the actual like thought process of the events at the time was like, in terms of like the detectives are trying to investigate into what the village is up to, and they're like, yeah, we pretty much know they're up to some corrupt shit, but we can't really do anything about it because they know the right ways to legally make it okay. So we can't, or at least on the surface it all looks okay, we can't do anything about it. Like they'll do protests that are very clearly they're giving like violent get the fuck out of here auras, but they'll do it while doing like very loud Buddhist chants, so that legally they could call it a religious protest.
Legally.
So like Oishi's just like, listen, because they're doing that legally is religious, so we, you know, there's rules applied, more rules that apply to this. Meanwhile, the Dam Project has like several riot gear dudes ready to like do something in case they're doing anything, I guess. There's a lot happening here. The village, seemingly they know like all the smart ways to try to handle this, but they've also decided to use kidnapping as a method to try to make sure that the Dam Project is closed. And that was pretty much the main focus, is Akasaka trying to figure out if the village was involved in the kidnapping, and if they are, if the kid is here, where the kid could be and all that, or who kidnapped the kid, all that kind of stuff. Because at the time, at the beginning, they didn't know anything other than that the kid was kidnapped, and they did not, they were keeping it a secret from the public as well, I believe. But people in the village, like Rika, already knew about it. So Akasaka's like, okay, so if they know about it, they probably did do it, because we've tried not to tell anybody about it. So yeah, things like that. So how did we feel about this week's premise and some of the stuff involving the Dam Project protests and all that? What were our thoughts about Akasaka as a detective? What do we got? Anybody have thoughts that they would like to share with the class?
So Mahjong.
Yeah. Oh, Mahjong. Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Finally. We had a little bit of Mahjong be mentioned in the last arc. This arc, we directly just had a whole Mahjong scene between Oishi, Akasaka, and a couple other people. One of the people was actually the director of the Dam Project, I think. I think he was the director of it. Oishi drags Akasaka to the Mahjong table, hoping to score some easy money from him. Turns out Akasaka is cracked at Mahjong. He's like been banned from several Mahjong places for raising the rates too high. And he was very very good at it. And by the way, I think they were mostly being careful with the manga presentation of this, where you couldn't really actually see what tiles were in their hands for a lot of it. But the dialogue of how they were describing their wins, from what I could tell, seemed pretty accurate. There was some where they were using different terminologies for the Mahjong things that I wasn't as familiar with. But I understood that that's just, with Mahjong, there's a lot of like different names for some of these terms, but they all really mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Some
local terms.
Yeah,
Some people would call.
one
That
of
happens
them.
to everything, honestly.
One of them, I think they wrote it as Yi Peiko, but like I've always known it as E Peiko. There's no like Y, it's just two I's. But I don't know if that was just like a localization choice, or if that's just actually how it's also pronounced. And then there was a Tanpin and something like that. So all that's to say, I gotta say, okay, Ryokushi doesn't know shit about chess, but he knows about Mahjong. He knows Mahjong, which I think is probably fitting, because that's more of I would believe that is more popular in Japan than chess. So I think chess is a lot simpler. So I don't really know why it was that hard to get chess right. But what do I know? What do I know?
You know how to play chess, apparently.
So that whole scene
Allegedly.
was just. I haven't seen Akagi, but that's how I imagine Akagi went. For that kind of mahjong anime scene, and they really tried to do a whole bunch of stuff with that. At a point, I was like, "Why are we doing all this though?" I was liking it because I like mahjong, but I was like, "Why is this all here?" And pretty much, it was only really there, I think, to just show that Akasaka could be pretty crafty and tactical about when he knows he's lost and try to take what he can to mitigate the loss or reduce the loss as much as possible. There's like one point. By the way, one thing I want to say here, okay, because I know people on this call like Ari have actually started to learn mahjong. So Richi is when you're like one away from winning. You only need one more tile to win, and you declare this. So you just, once somebody plays the tile or you draw the tile, you win. Somebody here declared open Richi, which means you declare Richi and then fully reveal your hand so they know what tile you need to win. And if you deal into it, it's a Yakuman. And which is an insanely high hand. It's so when somebody does that, it's very easy to not deal in, by the way. You just don't put down that tile and you hope they don't draw the tile. But if they draw it, it's not a Yakuman, I don't think. It's just open. I don't think they get it if they draw it. It's just if somebody else deals into them. So it's very easy to avoid it. But they were portraying it like it was like a big tactical thing. And I was confused about that. And I think what they were trying to do there with that is saying Akasaka's winning too much. Now, if we do this, he'll have to fold his hand. He won't be able to win properly with his hand because we're doing all this. But then I think at the end they made it look like if he didn't drop this tile, he had to drop a certain tile, and if he did, he was going to lose. But I was just like, okay, but he just doesn't have to. So I don't know. Maybe I was misunderstanding.
Eventually, he has to drop a bad tile.
Here was my potential understanding of what might have happened. It might have been something like he had declared Richi as well. If he had declared Richi first, which I don't know how that works with open Richi, if he had declared Richi first, that means he has to discard whatever tile he draws if it doesn't make his hand win. That would be the only case that I think that would, but I don't know if that applies there for that. But that was just something that I noticed with that, the open Richi declaration at this table against this guy who they know will is good at the game. I was like, why are we pulling open Richis here? What is happening? And I can only imagine maybe it was something like that, but I don't know. That was the only bit. But he tried to get out of it by being like, oops, I sneezed and scattered the wall. I broke the wall, which means this game's null and void. I guess I get a penalty. Haha. It's a little less than a Yakuman, though. Haha. I'm like, I don't know if a judge would allow that if that's what's happening, but I don't.
He sneezed, Chef.
Laugh it heartedly. It's like, oh, okay.
Like he knows what he did. They all know what he did, but they're like, you're smart. That was funny. You're with us. You're one of us. That was pretty much how they treated it. I was like, open reach. What are we doing here? So, yeah. So that was your mahjong moment. that was your mahjong moments. Ari, did you recognize the mahjong things they were doing? No, not at all. Okay, well,
I like Richi and Pawn and Chi. That's it.
Did you know what open Richi was at first? Or did you look it up, or
no?
Were you just like, I don't know what that is? Yeah, he was.
I was like, okay, he did something.
The other thing that he did, and I don't know if you're supposed to do this if you're playing in person, he declared open Richi and then said what he was waiting for. If you do that on one of the online things, it's just you see the hand. You have to figure out what their weights are yourself. So if they do a confusing hand with like a bunch of weights, you have to figure it out yourself. But I don't know if that's different in person. Anyways, I'm not going to yap about mahjong too long. The mahjong scene happened. Andy, what did you think of the mahjong scene since you brought it up?
Oh, well, I know why it's called the time killing arc.
Because
Yeah?
my God, my time being wasted.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
I think they really liked the mahjong chap. I think they really liked it.
Hey, listen, we zhonging? Everybody's getting into zhong now? Let's go.
I had been I've been looking at this chapter in a really funny way because
Yeah?
I was still going on about the idea that each arc is the story of the incident through the eyes of each character. So I was comparing
Uh-huh.
Manga to
Is the-
Keiichi
Oh, okay.
and drawing
I was gonna say
parallels.
Rika's just watching them play mahjong, being like, I don't know what that means.
So unironically, the whole time I was sitting there basically rewriting the arc as if it was Keiichi in Akasaka's position. Which is definitely an interesting way to read it.
He's a real gamer.
The only time Keiichi's ever won anything, and it wasn't even him. Andy writing it. Hey, so it's not my fault that Akasaka is very clearly Willard H. Knight. I don't know what to tell you there. I don't know. It was a scene. It was there. It didn't really prove anything about Akasaka's character, to be honest, because despite being good at mahjong, he was a very mid detective, all things considered. So
Jesus,
it wasn't.
you and your standards, Andy.
There was
It wasn't very useful to Akasaka's character. It wasn't very useful to like Oishi's character because like we
No.
already knew that he was like that.
So there was one detail. I don't know if you mentioned this or this is what you were about to refer to. You notices Oishi cheating while they were playing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Which I noticed that, and I was immediately connecting that to us being like, "Hey, where did that evidence go in like one of the previous arcs and all that?" I was like, huh.
That's true. The syringe in the first arc. So, yeah, it was a scene. And I hate Oishi. Get this man out of here. Somebody kill this man.
Well, this man's a
Please.
cheater at mahjong, so really, it's deserved.
I have some
you know.
good news for you about the incident.
He's fine.
If he-
He lives, I think, unless
if
that's
he
his
dies-
twin. If there's two Oishis, I don't know what we're gonna do.
They're both Shiga Mahjong. What do we do? They can't be stopped.
I hadn't thought about it that way. That's an interesting way to think about that.
The two Oishi theory.
Yes. No, the cheating and hiding evidence.
Yeah, that was the connection I made with that. I was looking at that whole scene of like, first of all, I was like, there's somebody at the table named Oyas-san, and I was like, Oyashiro-sama? Is this short for that? Or that was what was going on in my head, but I didn't know if that was just a coincidence.
Yeah, they're just playing mahjong with God.
You know, I was like, Oyas-san? This is because it's like, it's not Oyasu-san, it's like Oyas-san. It's like, but that's, is that, okay, all right, okay. So I was a little,
We'll move on.
I was like, okay, all right, that's your name.
They're just playing mahjong and drinking with God. He likes wine.
Yeah, just why not? Why not? I noticed that bit. I noticed Oishi cheating, and I'd assumed the big point of this was to show that Akasaka is very smart and is very perceptive, which we kind of could tell from, like you said already. We already knew that, but this kind of showed just like his wide range of these skills he might have. He was so good at mahjong that he's been like banned from several places, and his wife got mad at him for it too. So he's just too good. He's just too good. Not that it helps him with this case, of course, but he's just that good.
Again, I could not take his character seriously, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because number one, Akasaka sounds like a fake ass name. Okay, that does not sound like a real name. Number two,
the Bongo Stray Dogs guy.
So, unironically, I think I said this earlier. Every single time that I read his name, I just autofilled Amakusa and moved on. I didn't bother
Amakusa?
learning
That's a
his
real
name.
name. Akasaka. No, that's a fake name.
That's a fake name.
It does not deserve to be taken seriously.
I
He's good at
get that
mahjong,
this was
okay.
probably for plot purposes, but he was so inconsistent in whether or not he could figure things out. And it wasn't in an endearing way, it was in a way that pissed me off. And I get that as somebody who is reading this from the perspective of, number one, somebody who's read Ryugishi's work only once, and number two, somebody who
One
has
time
the
too many.
context of the previous arcs. I understand that I'm seeing the bigger picture, but oh my god, the amount of time it took him to get to some certain conclusions was so frustrating. And then number three, and we hadn't gotten to this yet, but I have to mention it because I've been sitting on it since I read it yesterday. When he started talking about the heart, I think that was him or was it Keiichi last reading?
I don't
Somebody
remember
was
the heart. Maybe it was last week. I don't know.
Maybe it was last week. Somebody
It
was
was last
talking
week.
about how you have to have heart for things. Maybe it was last week with Satoko or whatever. I don't know. The point is I could
Never
not take
forget the
Akasaka
heart.
seriously. Never. It was literally that.
Never
And I thought
forget
that-
the heart.
That he said it, but maybe he didn't, and I'm just misremembering. Anyway, I hated him as a character. He was annoying. He was very, very like brown-haired male insert into harem anime because it has to look like the most stereotypical guy possible. And also he's a bad husband.
Yeah, that's
He let
the
his wife
one.
die.
That's so okay. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I will say, by the way, okay, his wife was like how close to giving birth? Like, why is
Like
he
within
taking
the
this?
next few weeks.
Like, why are you taking this
'Cause I
case
think-
right now?
I think the implication is that the daughter survived the mom dying.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was concerned about when they were like, she fell down the stairs, and then you see the shot of her on the stairs, and there's a lot of fucking blood in the lower area, and I'm like, oh no, that baby's probably fucking dead too. But the baby lives, surprisingly.
So she was close enough to giving birth that baby was able to survive in the 1970s or 80s or whatever with their medical tech.
I had thought to myself, okay, for a moment, I said, what if the wife did die, but it wasn't from falling down the stairs, it was the village purposely killing her and then replacing the baby with another baby for whatever reason. And I said to myself, what would be the point? This guy's not coming back. What the fuck? This guy's not coming back. Why would Ryukishi do that to me? Why would Ryukishi pull that shit on me? There's no way. There's
Why
no
wouldn't he? No, Chad. Why wouldn't he do that? to
You're,
you?
I-
you're reinventing Changeling.
I mean, I
Changeling lore.
wouldn't doubt that someone from the village might have come by to kill his wife or whatever, but I doubt they would do any weird switcheroo regarding the child. I was just like amazed that the child survived though, but I'm just here like, this guy's not coming back. I don't think. I'm pretty sure. So I'm just like, maybe I was thinking too much about it, but I did wonder like, okay, first of all, why the fuck are you taking this case when your wife is about to give birth? Okay, maybe it's just because, like, you know,
He's
it's
got to
a
pay the medical.
very
Gotta pay
dangerous.
the medical bills.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's like, okay, he's really concerned about the grandson of the director who was kidnapped, and he really wants to help out with that, and he's like the best that can do it or whatever. But I'm just like, okay, fine, you're on the case. Is it that hard to give your wife a phone call? He went like all this time without being able to call her. And then he was just like, okay, time for me to actually call her. And literally all the lines are cut. All of them. And by the way, the lines being cut. Why? The nurse said, oh, if you give me a moment, you can use the office phone. And he said, no, I'll just go use a payphone outside somewhere.
No. The
Why?
office
It's
phone was also cut.
right there. It's being offered to you. Why would you not take? You don't have to pay for it. It's fucking free.
I can only assume that it was the medicine kicking in. That's, you know, he's like still like half in a daze from all the morphine they had him on. Like the dude got shot how many times?
And like head bashed in with a
I think
rock.
he just
Yeah.
and is an idiot.
I was trying to
That
think like
too.
maybe because he's a cop, he's like, you know, trying to make sure he's on a line that the villagers probably aren't going to trace or whatever, or like listen in on. But then I'm just like, he's not calling the other police station to talk. He's trying to call his wife. I don't think it's that big of a fucking deal. Like,
Big deal. Yeah.
like that was the biggest thing for
even if
me.
it was something like that, surely the fucking hospital line would be a better choice than the fucking payphone, because they're
Yeah.
definitely gonna bug the payphones.
So like the other thing with the payphones too, if I have that happen to me, I try to use the phone in the hospital and it's not working, so I just leave and I try to go outside to find a phone out there to use. For whatever reason, I decided to do that instead of using the phone that's inside that I've been offered to use. I go outside. The first payphone I go to that was pretty, like, you know, I had to trek through it with my crutches, okay, because I'm heavily injured after a fucking crime battle here where I got shot and beat up multiple times, okay. When the first one doesn't work, I don't keep looking for another one. I go back to the hospital and say, hey, can I use the office line that you offered before? He went so far to try to find a fucking payphone. Then, when he meets up with Rika, starts following her up shrine stairs as they're just going back to the hospital. Buddy, what
That
are you
was
doing?
wild.
What is he doing? So, yeah, when I say he's a bad husband, okay, he's also a stupid husband. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't
That's
know
what I'm
He's
saying,
just
though, is
stupid and he sucks. That's
just-
it.
It honestly just made me think he purposely didn't want to talk to his wife. Honestly, like he went so far out of his way to not call her. I don't know. I just
I think the funnier thing though to me is how easily he got off the hook for being there, because
Yeah.
he very, very quickly almost lost his entire cover, because he was like, oh yeah, my wife's in the hospital about to have a baby, you know, Rika is so cute, I hope I have a child like her. And the guy's like, hold up, your wife's might be in labor soon and
what
you're
are you doing
here?
Yeah, what are you doing here, buddy?
And it's like, oh, well, this trip was planned for a while. And the guy's like, oh, okay. It's like, well, you don't ask like why the trip was planned. Like, so what are you actually doing out here? Like, and why didn't your wife come? Like, you didn't just like reschedule or something? Like, why is it this so important? Like, birth.
I had forgotten all about that. That was wild. How do you answer that? Why are you there, buddy?
Like, he got off way too easily on that.
And the
Oh my
fact that
God.
his fucking answer for it is like, oh, well, don't worry, she has other family there. Yeah, I'm sure she does, man.
Yeah, like, okay, good for them.
Why the fuck are you not there?
So you're just a bad person, right?
Listen, Rika tried to warn him, okay? Rika tried to warn him by saying a vague, weird line when she went into scary mode for a second after being a cute little baby child for most of the time. Which, by the way, the artist drew her very young, very cute for most of this. However, I will say, during the village meeting, that felt creepy with the grandma hanging with Rika, and Mion's trying to come in like, grandma, I have some news I have to tell you, and she's like, can't you see I'm busy playing with Rika? Like, I don't like that. I don't. It's like Rika's like rolling around mewing, and she would like the grandma would consult Rika, say, do you know this man? And she would like go scary mode, like, no, I don't know this man. Like, what? Is Rika like an oracle here for the grandma? What's happening here? I didn't like anything what was happening there. That felt weird. I didn't like that.
I mean, the lore that they've set up is that Rika can see the future. So I will argue it makes sense that the grandmother would be treating Rika like some kind of oracle. I can see that. It just was weird. The grandma in general made me uncomfortable, which I'm sure was the point, but
Why? She's
Yeah.
drawn completely normally.
she's drawn so normally.
How did she look again? It was like
She
She was
was
so
normal
old.
you've ever seen.
I was trying to think, like, what,
She
did
was
it look
like-
like her eyes were shown shut or something? Or I didn't remember. It did not. Okay. Oh yeah, there was one shot where her eyes were open, but like all white or whatever, and very creepy. And yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Dude, Grandma's
She
like
was peak scary
124.
old woman.
yeah.
Now, it's important that yes, Rika is said to be able to predict the future, but Oishi also mentions a few times that she is also revered as the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama.
right.
Which is so fascinating because I thought the implication was that Rina was possessed by Oyashiro-sama.
I
That
think
was
that's.
the implication.
I think that's Rena LARPing, perhaps. You know, she's heard the stories and she thinks, "Oh, that'd be very fun."
Little girl has hobbies.
She's Maria.
Yeah, maybe.
Rika's
is-
just
you
mind
know.
controlling her older friend.
You know, so, Rika.
They also
Yep.
another thing. So, spoiler alert: Rika dies.
What?
Another thing.
No shot.
Crazy,
It was like
I
it was like in the
Some
first.
of us
It was like in the
haven't
first
gotten
like
that
2
far.
pages.
It literally
or something,
opened
but
with
yeah.
her body.
It was, we also saw
They
it last week
keep-
too. But
They keep
Some of us haven't
mentioning
gotten that far. God.
they they mentioned it at least twice in this arc. The fact that they almost wanted to say that her intestines were like splayed out in a particular way. They said splayed out everywhere. My guess is that she was killed as some part of ritual.
well, yeah, I think
Ritual
we had brought it up last week. It sounded like whatever happened with Rika was potentially the actual cotton drifting ceremony thing, because
Yeah.
the cotton drifting thing that they usually do is like done on like a futon or some other piece of like furniture or whatever, but the real ritual that's inspired on is doing the same thing but to a person, and then I think potentially eating the organs as well. I don't remember. Something to that nature. And so it
Yeah.
seemed like whatever was done to her was probably related to that ritual custom, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Which was
There was
Perchance.
something
Which
that
could be nothing.
what were we saying,
stood out.
Bryce?
Well, I think it's been mentioned before. The cans of food that were like human meat.
Yeah.
Yes. We
Mhm.
brought it up again this week.
Why? Yes. Why? It's said that they stole those from the military. Why did the military have those?
Oh, that's a real thing. You can look
Oh,
up
good.
Unit 731, I believe it was. If you want to learn some more information about that, it's
Okay.
wild.
I can only assume before looking up the information, it was probably something like it was hard for them to get meat from certain other types
Yep.
of animals at the time, and so they were just
Mm.
using humans instead because they had a lot of dead bodies to do it with, perhaps. So
Yep, this was during World War II.
yeah.
Oof.
So it was probably something like that. And here, the cans were specifically used here to revitalize the economy of the village, because they stole it and then sold it at a higher price on the black market. And so
Is it supposed to be implying that that's like what's wrong with the people is they ate the human meat?
I had thought about that. I don't know how much that messes you up. I think I've only really heard something about like eating human brain might do stuff that's really bad to you, but I don't necessarily know.
Prion diseases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
the supposedly, in theory, you can eat any part of the human body safely, minus the brain, as long as you cook it
Okay.
properly
Mm.
and bring it to temp.
Okay.
Assuming that they don't have like a bloodborne disease or something. But
Yeah.
the brain, I can't remember what the tribe was, but the ritualistic consumption of the brain was the cause of death of like I think an entire South American tribe or something that
Mm.
I can't remember the name of. I keep
Curious
wanting to
about
say
that one?
kudzu, but I think that's that invasive plant. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
kudzu.
that's the vines.
That's the vine.
I can stall while you wait. Oh, while you look for it.
What do you got for
I mean,
Shadow?
it's not super important. The point is that there was a tribe, I think, in South America where one of their religious practices was that when a person would die, in order to help their memory live on, the village members would consume the brain. And it ended up causing a completely widespread prion infection that caused them to, like, I think it was like shake uncontrollably, which was like the defining symptom of it, because it deteriorates your brain and your nervous system. So in theory, and I've never tested this personally for legal reasons. I've never tested it
For legal reasons only.
for legal reasons only.
I really love that you're adding this many disclaimers.
It's for the bit. Don't worry, guys. In theory, as long as it was like produced properly and did not include the brain, human meat
Produced
that had
properly.
been canned probably would have been safe to consume.
Okay.
Hmm.
Would it have been tasty?
Now,
I mean, it's supposed to taste
Probably
like pork,
not,
isn't it?
because these are going to end up as like military rations.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
true.
if they're canned.
Unseasoned
Yeah.
pork.
Yeah.
What the fuck was
Like it's long pork.
Right.
Yeah, long
Um,
pig.
Okay. So we've talked about a range of things this
Kuru.
week.
Kuru disease.
Kuru?
Chap, it's going to get more confusing.
Do we want to go back to
Don't worry.
mahjong?
I was gonna say, so we've gone from mahjong to being a
Everyone
bad
gets mahjong?
husband
I gotta
to fucking
Ethical
cannibalism.
cannibalism.
Economical cannibalism. Okay, it's it was to revitalize the
Well,
economy.
Together, buy
This is
whatever
just
the
where you
game
get
was.
dusty. Cannibalism.
You know.
Those explain a lot.
All right.
That's true. It happened in Sakonia.
So isn't the whole thing that, like, technically cannibalism isn't illegal? It's how you procure the body parts that's the illegal part?
Yes,
Probably.
I think so.
Probably something like that. Yeah.
I think
we
it
don't
depends on the state.
listen. We don't need to get into.
Anyway.
Like desecrating a
We don't need to
body.
get into the legality of cannibalism
Generally
here. We just
considered
wanted to.
Anyway.
We just wanted to know whether or not the people in the village were fucked up from doing that, and the answer would probably be no, as long as they're not eating brain.
So,
Probably not.
okay, so actually, sorry, I hadn't realized that was where we were going. So,
Wait, what did you...
or where we were
Anyway.
coming from, because I was busy on trying to remember the tribe name. There was it was one of the classes that I had to take on behavioral anthropology.
Okay.
Talked about the fact that eating human flesh does inherently fuck you up. Cannibalism inherently, because it is seen by your body, not because it came up because there's the nature versus nurture kind of argument, but with cultural norms, right? So there are cultures where it is typical to engage in cannibalism and cultures where it's more taboo. But they found that even in cultures where it is culturally acceptable to engage in cannibalism, it still causes a level of psychological distress, because there is some inherent component in the human psyche that sees that as a
Sure.
bad thing.
Yeah, I can
The
understand
thing
that.
is,
Mhm.
if the meat had been canned and was not known to be human meat,
That was the big thing I
there
was going to
isn't-
bring up. They might not know.
Yeah,
so
they might
yeah.
not know. They probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be that kind of like psychological response. So I don't, unless they did know for
Which the-
some reason.
So now here's the important thing to
Before
know
it
as
was
well.
invented.
It might have been a case where they were eating that meat not knowing it was human meat, and then later on, we know at some point the story was going around, whether or not it's confirmed or not, people weren't sure, but the story was going around that the meat that they were eating from those cans was in fact human meat, and that had like a rumor that like stayed forever, and pretty much like everybody saw it as that or whatever. Like they associate that with that. My question is, how much does that psychologically fuck up a person if they find out far along later
After the fact,
that they've been eating human meat for a while or whatever, or they ate human meat at some point before for a while? Like how much does that fuck with you as a person psychologically? Like, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to think of like,
Ultimately, it depends on the person.
you know?
it depends on the person. I would imagine that it's
And
probably
how much they
pretty
actually believe
traumatic.
it.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
like there was quite a few scenes of The Walking Dead, which kind of dealt with that, where they're obviously very concerned about doing anything associated with the walkers, because they don't know exactly how they're infected, how they became zombies. So they just try to not let them scratch them, not let them bite them, not whatever. And if they do bite them, they try to cut off the part of the limb, because they have no clue what exactly is causing it. So they're just trying to do anything to stop the spread of it. But there's one guy at some point who does get bit, and then he gets captured by a group of people who've been fucking with their group for a long, long time. And he wakes up to find that they have eaten his leg, because this was a cannibal tribe. And then he gets to laugh at them and say, "I got bit like a day ago, so you guys are eating zombie meat now." And it was like a whole concern where I'm just like, "Oh no, is this cannibal group fucked now?" And then that went nowhere with that. I just wanted to bring that up.
Right.
Because I'm just like, it's a thing where it's like, okay, they freaked the fuck out after they realized what they had just eaten, but they were perfectly fine afterwards. So, I'm just
I'm
like,
sure that the way that they would have written that off is that the stomach acid would have burned up the bacteria or whatever.
yeah, that might have been the reason for it, or it
If
might
they
have been
cared.
something like it didn't infect enough
If
of the
they
body,
bothered.
or things like that. So okay,
My question is, would it be gamey?
maybe.
I mean, that depends on how you prepare it.
I also think
Yeah.
it depends on the person.
Do we need soy sauce for this? Like they
I
needed
I
that one
think
week
soy
and then
sauce
died.
would be so strong.
Oh yeah,
I
Rika
mean, if we
did
give me a
need
few
soy
minutes
sauce.
with the scalpel, we
Maybe
can
some
find
spaghetti
out.
sauce.
She did need soy sauce, and supposedly going to get some soy sauce is what got
Hold
her
a
killed.
syringe.
Supposedly. With a syringe. Where'd that syringe go, by the
Injecting
way?
soy sauce directly into your veins.
She really needed that soy sauce.
You get the good stuff.
Real
That does happen in a
Will not
movie, I've
survive.
seen.
real quick. We have a message in YouTube chat from
what's up?
Phila Mawa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Says, don't know if it was brought up at all last chapter stream, but regarding Keiichi, there is apparently a popular fan theory that he is on the spectrum for autism.
God, he's so
Oh, yeah.
decoded.
with the tests that they were doing, where they're like he excels, but only in like these certain mindsets or whatever. I'd
Yeah.
probably believe that.
Yeah.
All I knew was last week he was the dumbest motherfucker in the cast, so I didn't know what was going on with that
By
scene.
any character I can
Second
get
dumb?
behind.
Who was
Like,
the
complete
dumbest? If he was second dumbest, who was the dumbest?
The uncle.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? That's true. Okay, so
This man got a call from what definitely just sounds like a teenage kid.
yeah, I was gonna say I can't like hear what voice he's doing, but like this is supposedly a cop trying to call saying, "Oh, your daughter's down here." Like this is a 16
Yeah, I like-
50-year-old.
I like to imagine that he put on like
a.
a faux deep voice.
And he's just like, well, this all checks out. Let me go.
I don't think any of that happened though.
I mean, it's possible that didn't happen. We're not gonna focus too much about that stuff because we do want to focus on the time killing arc stuff. Time killing arc, additional things
Only
that
an hour
did
and a half
happen.
in, yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about. We were talking about the human meat side of things because that returned. I say, well, like I knew we weren't gonna have a lot to like talk about with this arc compared to the other arcs specifically because
It is,
like,
after all, killing time.
I mean, well, jokes about that
Dang.
aside, there's not like much that happened with this other than Akasaka showing up to the place, investigating
talking about?
the
Very
protests, and then the
important.
kidnappers happened, and then we go to deal with the kidnappers, and then we did cop things. I was like, okay, cop things are happening. The cop things, by the way, with the kidnappers, was okay. So Rika gives the vague warning, "You're gonna regret being here." And then he's like so terrified by that the whole time. He's like, "Oh my god, she was right the whole time." Like that's the vaguest fucking warning imaginable. You're gonna assume that she can tell the future just from her saying that. And then later on, she's like, "In the future, the dam project's already canceled. That's already been decided, okay? Because that's already been canceled. And then there's gonna be a death like every year. This year, this person's gonna die, and then this, and then this, and then me. I'm gonna die this year." And he's like, oh my god, how is she doing this? Is she telling the future? Why is she saying it like this? And it's like, okay, well, the village heads might have weirdly decided this or something, perhaps. That's what Oishi seems to think. But the first one is also where he's like, what did she mean by I'm going to regret being here? What did she mean by that? It's like, well, I don't know, dude. You said, like, right at the beginning of the day that I'm here instead of being with my pregnant fucking wife. So maybe she just means you're going to regret being here instead of being with your fucking wife, buddy. But he's like, no.
Who already has a weak constitution.
She's like, no. He's like, no.
American, no.
She tried to warn me the whole time. She tried to warn me. He's like so obsessed by it. It was the most vaguest fucking warning. It was just, you're going to regret being here. So, but then he was like, oh, she was telling me about the string of everybody dying. She was trying to have a cry for help. She was trying to get me to save her too. And I'm just like, buddy.
Anyway, she just slaps him.
I'm just like.
Or punches him or something.
I thought this dude was supposed to be smart. He's like assuming a fuck ton of shit from the like 9-year-old who's saying vague shit at him. I don't know.
What is he?
I don't. Maybe not. All I know is
the truth.
Well, I just feel like the truth could be. I don't. The biggest thing where I'm with Oishi on this. I'm like, if supposedly she knows about these things that are gonna happen, why does she do nothing to stop it? Why does she not leave the village when she knows that she's gonna be fucking murdered one of the years? Why does she not tell her parents? If she knew about the gas leak incident, why did she not tell the people about that? What, like, if she said it to anybody, you know, a lot of them could have been saved trying to believe if they believed her. Which, of course, gets me to wondering, Ryukushi being Ryukushi, time travel stuff, or time loop stuff, of course. Just like, is Rika here one of the people that is allowed to be conscious of these things and has tried to make these changes before and has given up on it? I don't know if that's where we're going with this, because my brain is still thinking there's an actual mystery to be solved here, and I want to hope the answer is not supernatural answers. I think a part of me wants to hope for that, but I don't know if maybe I've just been too wired into the Umineko style of thinking, where the supernatural answer is more of the hopeful, I'd rather not know the truth answer, as opposed to the solving the mystery that's presented to you answer. So that Umineko has kind of really trained me to like not want to believe that, even if the story may potentially point towards that. Because I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, the story has never convinced me that there are actual demons involved with any of this shit. I don't think at all been convinced about demons possessing people in all of this story. But if you're to tell me somebody was knowledgeable of the future because they've been looping through it over and over, that I could buy, given the nature of
That's obviously
the fact,
not supernatural at all.
I mean,
that's just a normal aspect.
Listen, I'm reading.
Happens in Hinamizawa.
Listen, I'm reading Steins Gate right now. Okay, I know all about you know, that stuff. It could happen. Okay? In theory, she's got reading Steiner. Yes, that's what she's got. She's got reading Steiner.
Steins Gate. Wow, this is really giving me Steins Gate vibes.
She's got reading Steiner. Okay, perhaps, you know, maybe she's like Okabe in like the future, where she's just like, I can't make the changes.
I will be fair. When I read Steins Gate after reading Higurashi, I was like, damn, this is getting a lot of Higurashi vibes from this.
I feel bad comparing it to Umineko because it's like a person who's only ever read one other of Ryukashi's works. Damn, this is a lot like Umineko.
Well, to be fair, it kind of is.
So the Rika stuff.
Read
I did actually read half of that. I think I meant to. I think I read like 2/3 of it, and then I forgot to actually finish it. I think I remembered.
I'm sure it's just Higurashi condensed.
I read the translated manga for Higanbana, but it did the last 10 chapters didn't get translated, so I didn't end up finishing it.
Wow.
Very different. Very different.
I don't know anything about Higanbana other than it exists. I don't know anything about it otherwise.
Keep it that way.
Okay, cool. So, Rika stuff, and then the kidnapper stuff. The kidnapper stuff was pretty much Akasaka and Oishi are driving somewhere at some point, and then Oishi's just like, hey, wait a minute. That place is owned by Forest Services, and nobody's supposed to be there right now, but there's a car parked outside. Isn't that fucking weird that we drove by this place and
We're
that's
going
there?
inside, and this guy.
We should go inside and check that. This was a little after when they discovered the wallet of the grandchild, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, so here's the wallet, Akasaka. They found it. It's evidence towards your boy that you're here to look for. He's like, can you take me to there? And I think Oishi was looking at him like, you really want to go there? You want to go into the danger zone here? He pulls out a fucking knife or whatever. It's a toy knife or like a retractable fake knife.
That
or
was
something.
wild.
Crazy.
Sir, was that necessary?
I thought you was about to fucking kill him.
But
Yeah.
but Akasaka's like acting like nothing's wrong because he's like knows the whole time, like, oh, this is fake. Why are you doing this stuff? Like, because it's trying to again show me how perceptive Akasaka is as a detective. While I'm just like, okay, but I don't care. I get it. We want to do a scene where like Oishi's being really scary and edgy towards him, and Akasaka looks really cool. I don't know if I still take Akasaka seriously as a character.
I can't.
Listen, guys, he's so cool, and
He's got to solve the case. Don't worry, he doesn't solve the case, by the way. The kidnappers. So they knock at the door. Oishi's in the front door. Akasaka's going around the back. The guy opens up the front door, and Oishi's like, "Hey, so what are you doing here?" And the guy's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Nobody's been around here in a while." He's like, "Yeah, that's funny. Like, this is for Forest Services. Are you a part of Forest Services?" He's like, "No. Well, you're a cop, right? You must." You might know a little bit about me. And he goes to poke him in the eye immediately. And then we have a Oishi fight sequence in which the kidnapper beats the shit out of Oishi and then calls him a fatty the whole time. And then he wins the fight off screen against Oishi and like ends up dragging him over there as like hostage for 3 seconds against Akasaka. Who Akasaka if I remember correctly, he got shot, but like prior to that, I think he was kicking the other kidnapper's ass. I think.
He was kind of losing too. He was somewhere in the middle.
I think he was losing at first, and then he was about to get the upper hand on him, and then the guy showed up with the gun. I don't remember the exact sequence of events. I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of that blurred to me, other than him trying to be like, "Don't worry, kid, I'll save you," and he tries to like whisper something to him, and it was just like, "Kid, fucking run!" And he fucking runs, and then they're
Literally.
He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna distract the guy now," and the guy tries to shoot him, or he does shoot him, and like raises his leg or whatever. But Oishi stands up with his fucking gun. So I was like, oh, I thought the kidnapper stole his gun. No. The kidnapper just had his own gun, and Oishi pulled out his actual gun, which he brought to the scene, which they showed us that he had the gun on the scene. I will be honest with you, at first with the scene, I didn't know if this was going to be a Oishi was in on it type deal, and Oishi was helping the kidnappers to like let the kid get away, or not let the kid get away, to let them release the kid in a certain way, because the demands were supposedly met for the kidnappers. So they were already given the go-ahead to like let the kid go right before they showed up, I think. And then all that happened. I'm pretty sure they were just ready to let the kid go. So it was just a matter of getting away. So I don't know why the kidnappers were still trying to take the kid at that point. That part was confusing me. I didn't know if I was misunderstanding the timeline of events, because it sounded like the demands were met. So which, by the way, the demands being met was cancel the project, which I feel like if your son is kidnapped or your grandson's kidnapped and you get your grandson back, you can just say the next day, okay, the project's not canceled. I don't know why. I don't know how that works.
It's been uncanceled.
I was about to say, like, they've been building up until this arc. They've been building up this whole thing that the reason that the director of the Dam Project died was because the Dam Project was still going on. So why have this entire thing implying that there was almost a cancellation. Because like you said, like it's not really implied necessarily that he went back on his word about canceling the dam project. So if we take what we're reading at face value, which obviously we shouldn't, but if we are, then why kill him later? Why go through all of that then anyway?
And so supposedly, if we are to believe that Rika knowing all this information is actually from like listening into the village conversations for the plans of murders every year or whatever, supposedly they would have been planning to kill him next year from the start of like even knowing that the project was getting canceled. Supposedly they were going to kill him no matter. So it's not even like a consideration of like maybe they waited a bit and then heard that they were planning to start the project again, so then they killed the director. No, supposedly they planned to kill the director before they even canceled the project to begin with, supposedly. If we go with that theory, we don't know if that theory is correct about Rika knowing this from that. Might not be the case, but supposedly.
I will correct y'all. It is not the director of the dam project's grandson. It is the Minister of Construction.
Oh.
That's whose grandson gets kidnapped. So they
Okay.
are presumably different people. I assume the Minister of Construction is like a government title, whereas the director of the dam project was just the person who was on site directing things. But they are different people.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I mean, not to say that you're wrong, but I just mean like, I'm absolutely wrong in not realizing that earlier, because why the fuck would that dude just be playing Mahjong with the detective on his case? Because that was the director of the damn project he was playing Mahjong with. So I don't know why I didn't realize that earlier, but yeah, okay.
We do a little bit of jogging, just to kill the time.
So it
Time
was
killing art, some might call it.
what'd you say? It was the Minister of Agriculture or whatever? Like
Minister of Construction.
Minister of Construction.
Which
okay,
I
so
assume is just a Japanese government title.
Okay, so the demand being met by him is probably just filling out a cancellation order on the project, which it probably would be hard to undo, which is why the village wasn't concerned about it being undone, maybe. I don't know exactly how the rules are with that. I feel like if you're made to do... Actually, no, I should correct myself with all that, the logic. Because I was going to say, perhaps if they meet the demands of signing the thing to cancel the project, then he gets the grandson back, then he decides to reveal that he signed it under duress or extortion or whatever legal term you use for that to try to undo that. I undo that logic because they supposedly were keeping it a secret because the minister didn't want that in the news, the kidnapping to be in the news. He didn't want the bad press from it, I guess. So he wouldn't undo it for that reason, right? Am I understanding I don't know if my thought process is going too crazy for this. Okay, so all of that to say, supposedly the kidnappers were already all set with their terms for it, and they were just given the go ahead on the radio to let them go, but they were trying to fight cops so that they don't get in trouble. That part I understand. I understand why they're still fighting to keep the kid, though. I don't understand what that was about. He was like trying to drag the kid away with him. But maybe that's just because they didn't understand what their orders were to do with the kid or something. I don't know.
Could also just be that they hadn't actually received the orders yet.
Oh, maybe. Well, the main thing with that whole series of events is that Akasaka... I can't believe that's his real name. Akasaka gets shot and wakes up in the hospital next to the kid. The kid survives and is with him. And this is where we did the sequence stuff that we talked about before, where he's like, I gotta call my wife. And then all the lines are cut. And then Rika shows up with a pair of knives, where he's like, what do you have those knives for? And she's like, what knives? She like clearly just threw it in the gutter next door. What knife? A knife. What scissors? What scissors are you talking? Why did I say knife? What scissors? What scissors are you talking about? What? It literally, like, the camera pans over to the thing next to her that she threw it into. He's like, huh, I must have been seeing something. I don't know why I imagined that. I was like, you wouldn't. How this guy's supposed to be very perceptive, right? I thought that was his whole thing. I thought that was the thing that it kept telling me about him. He was very perceptive. He was
He's
perceptive as a figure.
selectively perceptive, okay?
Oh, okay. Like, I can imagine being surprised by the, like, 8 or 9-year-old doing that, and then being so stunned by it that you don't notice her throwing it away, but I don't feel like it'd be very noticeable that she threw it if this is what happened. That was where she was trying to give, like, the whole layout of the future events that are going to happen, which we've come to know as the events of the Oyashiro-sama's curse that have happened. Yeah. I don't know what else more to say about this other than afterwards Oishi and Akasaka in the future, after the events of the past arcs we've seen, after the events with the gas leak happen, they meet up and discuss things years later. And they're just like, you were there back then, and I was there, Oishi was there during that whole incident. Together, with our knowledge, we can piece it all together and finally solve this case. And I'm just thinking, like, Oishi, you're there for the first case too, right? You were there. You were, like, there for, like, most of it, I think. It's not like Akasaka was the only one there. What's happening, Oishi? And then they write a book. And I'm just thinking, like, why are we writing a book about this? What? Why? Why?
When you see
Well, you see,
Yeah.
this was before podcasts existed.
I was about to
so-
say average white man.
Oishi's like, together we can solve the case through capitalism. I have to make some money real quick,
Serial
please.
Season 4.
I lost my car with the AC back then. I need to get it back.
I need a new car with AC. That's the only way we can handle the gas leak.
So
The AC.
what did it say with the book? They made the book. Oh shit! Hold on one second. Lidzy, thank you so much for the raid, Lidzy. We're here. Hello, gamers. We're here to talk about the Higurashi When They Cry manga. Let me give you a shout out real quick, Lidzy. What were you guys up to? We're just hanging out. I hope you were doing well. I hope you are doing well. So,
Hope you were doing well is so ominous.
well, on the stream.
You were.
On the stream. Okay, listen.
I heard they're not doing well anymore,
Oyashiro-sama
so-
wishes you well.
Okay. All right, so who did it? Okay, who's okay? This is mostly the end of the questions arc. What happened? Did we solve the case? Do we know the
Okay, so
answers?
I solved it, Shep. Okay, so while there's a news reporter
Yeah,
who wants to
guys,
talk
we
about the
did it.
case, right? And then I noticed one of the news reporters, and Shep, if you look at him and then like squint with one eye, look
Light
with one ear,
Yagami.
it was him.
We're a little too early for Light Yagami to be here. That's supposed to be the next series we read.
That's what I thought too.
So, like, okay, how could Light Yagami do it 5 years in advance and Rika knows? Okay, because there's a very important rule of Death Note. It's called the 23-day rule, where
That's true.
where the effect of the Death Note needs to happen in 23 days. There's
That's-
actually a way to circumvent it. There's a way to circumvent it.
Okay, so yes,
spent,
no,
like, an hour researching, by the way.
okay, no, I understand that. I'm just surprised that one, you remember that rule so vividly, and other rules about it. And I mean, Death Note is really good, so I don't blame you for doing that. But I'm just like, I don't know if you need to think about that too much for the one newscaster image that you think looks kind of like Yagami.
Hold on,
two-
here we are. Okay.
No, let him
Well,
cook.
you
He's
see-
onto
You
something.
see, this isn't actually Light Yagami. This is like Higurashi OC, right?
Which came out first,
What?
Higurashi or Death Note? Which came out first? Not the anime, the original works.
I want to say Higurashi, but I'm not actually sure on that.
So when did Higurashi, the first VN, come out? I'll look up
Look at
Death
that.
Note manga. Death Note manga. I typed Death Note and then wrote manga on AniList, and it's not going to give you a result if you write manga with it. There you go. Death Note,
like
the manga
Adrian.
started in 2003. Went from 2003 to 2006.
Oh, damn. That's early.
Higurashi VN release date.
The series debuted in Japan on August 10th, 2002.
Oh.
Very close.
Hey,
Okay.
so that's ominous. That's a day before my birthday.
Happy birthday.
That is the day before my
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Andy.
Happy birthday, Andy.
Okay.
Are you looking forward to the Watanagashi Festival?
Oh,
Hell yeah.
fuck.
With the twins. Okay.
And your twin.
And your twin. Don't get too drunk. You might forget, what you did and who you met and where the body is. All right,
Whether or
so
not you ate someone.
the book is published. It contains information about the series of mysterious deaths, including those right before what? Do you have someone else to say?
Bit. No.
Yo, bit about the Death Note stuff still? What is it? What? We don't need to keep going with the Death Note bit. We're not on Death Note yet.
Okay, so there's one way to with the 23-day rule, and it's
Okay.
give them a disease without a specific date.
Okay.
Because disease actually has to happen.
Okay.
I got you. Pregnancy.
Ah, you could just write you just write pregnant in the Death Note, and that just works. I see.
Okay. No. So here's the thing, though. You can actually write multiple names for one victim.
Okay,
Like
we
one-
gotta stop. We're spoiling Death Note rules. Okay, we gotta chill. We gotta chill with the Death Note theory stuff. This is Higurashi. We're not doing Death Note shit here. Wait until next series, and then you can pull out these bits. Okay. All right. So, they write the book. There's research written with the hope that the incidents wouldn't fade away. And it's afterwards says, alone we cannot hope to uncover the truth about why these tragedies occurred. We ask you who read this book to please find the truth. This is our one wish. So supposedly they wrote the book trying to say hey, we couldn't figure this out. You guys can figure it out though, right? I don't think...
It really fucking meant reader beware, you're in for a scare.
I don't know if legally
That
as
dove do not eat.
I gotta be real here. I don't think you could do that as a detective. I don't think you should be allowed to do that as a detective. I feel like if you could do that, a lot of detectives would be making a lot of money off cold cases by just turning it into a novel. I don't think you're allowed to do that. Because I'd imagine they'd also be using their own inside knowledge of it, of course, because they're talking about how they were there during the case. I don't know how that works, though. Ethically speaking, it's definitely wrong. But,
Ethics aren't real.
Yes, real no cops are really concerned with ethics.
Well, I mean,
it's definitely never been done before. Nobody ever tried this. Trust me.
And so the book is also the one of the last things we see for the closing thing for the questions arc in general, which questions arc, as was explained to us a little bit last week and then also reiterated to us in the afterword from Ryukishi this week, was not intended to be written. Supposedly in the afterword he clarifies, I just didn't I wanted to do something else before working on the last series, or I didn't have enough time, or had enough time. I forget what it was. It was something about time regarding working on the next bit. And he was like, I'm just gonna write this smaller thing instead, which is why it's half the length plot wise of what happens in the other ones, he says. And this was how we got this arc. This is not intended to be written, and he just kind of wrote it in between the series, being the next one, and then we get him afterwards saying, this wasn't intended to be written, but afterwards, it's kind of very fucking important, I think, with closing things together and being a central closing for the questions arc. And I'm just is it? I don't know, when I sit down and think back on it, what new information towards the case I actually got, other than the timeline of events potentially regarding the kidnapping stuff. And the fact that the village was involved with the kidnapping. And that Rika knew back then about the murders that were going to happen. I don't know if...
I think the most important piece that you get from this arc is probably the specific confirmation of Rika being at the center of this.
Right. Especially
Of
because
what
she's
it
always
is.
at
the
those
demonic
meetings.
ritual didn't tell us that.
Well, demonic rituals happen often.
Well, we already knew that she was at the meetings. Like we were told that pretty up front, and I think episode 2, where it's the 3 heads of the
Sure.
families: the Sonozakis, the Kimiyoshi, and the Furude.
Sure. My whole thing with the meeting, though, is we actually got to see what a part of one of those meetings looked like, and they kind of make it look like they're getting confirmation of their information from Rika and then plotting things based on that. Was my understanding for why the grandma really liked Rika. So I was like, all right. Is that how they've always been running these meetings? Or is that because I was trying to be like, the grandma's very clearly in control of everything in the town, and they know how to coordinate things properly to get what they want accomplished. So I was trying to like think like, okay, so this is how the meetings look with her, and it seems like Rika is not just like listening in, but is like what they're using as confirmation for these things potentially. But I don't know if that's actually what was happening or if that's what we're meant to, like Andy's been saying, like how we're being told it's happening as the reader, but some of the stuff might just more so be interpreted by other people like Akasaka, who in the future believes that Rika knew everything and was trying to warn him. Stuff to that nature.
Okay, make it all about yourself, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks,
what he does.
Chap.
What did I do? What did I do? What the fuck?
You're so mean to him for no reason.
What
I like
the
how
fuck
this is a
did
new
I do?
observation.
I literally didn't do anything. All right, Shadow, what do you got for us? You got a solution to everything? And don't start talking about Death Note.
No, sorry.
All right, then I don't need to hear your shit. Anyways,
Yeah, man, you've got it all figured out, right?
we did see Shion/Mion this time. I didn't catch if it was confirmed, but I believe he had met Shion first and like helped her from biker people. Was that biker people? I forget what it was. And then saw Mion at the protests, and I think just assumed that it was the same person, not knowing that they were twins. That was my implication of what happened there.
He
But
assumed that it was the same person, and then he thought that, oh, well, there's no way that the girl that I just helped out would be involved in these, like, insane protests.
yeah, she was like
So,
leading
obviously they're
the people at the
different.
time. Yeah. Oh, what the heck? I have just been Discord disconnected? What the heck? Awaiting endpoint? Okay, everybody's dropping out. Am I still on stream? I feel like I'm still on stream. I think. Okay. I'm gonna type in the this Discord disconnected me. Hold on one sec. Maybe. IDK. I'll try reconnect again. The heck is happening? I'm gonna try call someone. Start call. Bada-bum, bada-bum. Bada-bum, bada-bum. Looks like it connected. I don't know if Ari is seeing that I'm calling to answer. I'm just gonna end that. I'm gonna try to rejoin the call. Wow. Great job, Discord. Okay, I'm gonna try calling. I'll try. The Discord calling sound was trolling me. I was so sure I was getting called. Hello, Noe. I apologize. Yes, that was my Discord. Apparently everybody's dying right now. I'm trying to fix it. What if failure to start new voice calls. New voice calls are failing to be created. Jesus. Well, that's it. Great job, everybody. No. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody jump on to Skype. We're all going back to Skype. It'll work out. There we go. We're back. We don't have to go to Skype. Stop loading Skype. We're back.
Oh God! Did you really get the fucking?
Oh my God!
Ari, don't do this to me.
All right, we're all back.
That's the cicada sound effect you hear in the game. So like, in between the chapters, whenever there's a new scene, that's what it does.
You hear it
When
like
the
2
Higurashi's
billion
crying.
times as you're reading. Don't. I swear to
Stop.
God.
Dad. All right, are we all here? Are we good? Are we all connected? Okay, Shadow's apparently still in gay baby jail.
Ari, I will fight you in real life.
We'll wait a bit and see. Oh. All right, I'm back. It disconnected me for a second, but I'm back.
And I'm sorry, Anne. I'm sorry.
What happened? What happened?
I got her ass.
What the fuck? All right, are we good? Are we all connected now?
Yep.
Okay, so demons are real.
All right. So the demons.
If only we had listened to Rika-chama.
Oh yeah, Shiro-sama was not very pleased with some of our statements here this week. We're back though.
Really fucking pissed off about that Death Note bullshit.
I was tired of it.
My whole bit, Red Sheppy, you ruined it.
Yeah, you're the one who. Nobody told you to make a whole bit. Save it for when we read Death Note. You can't be spoiling Death Note rules. What the fuck? Okay, so.
Yeah, you gotta spoil Higurashi.
So, okay, other things, potentially. Was there anything else that we needed to note plot-wise that we might not have mentioned? We mentioned about Mion and Shion. And...
I have a question that it sounds like you guys might have clarified during the stream that I wasn't here for.
Sure, what do you got?
What's up?
How come Ryukishi keeps saying that there's 8 arcs, but in the manga there's 10?
There's supposed to be 6.
Because there's the original 8 arcs.
So the original
Ryukishi cannot stop writing.
That's extremely correct. So the original question arcs were the 4 that we've already read, and then Yoigoshi-hen, which is the next arc, I believe, is Again, I don't know if this is like if this originated in the manga or if it originated in one of the other releases, but with each subsequent re-release, Higurashi has just gotten like more and more writing added onto it.
Story never ends.
Listen, Umineko
he has not left Hinamizawa.
Umineko has received a lot of releases. Higurashi, dear lord.
There's so many.
And pretty much almost every release, it feels like, at least, he just kept writing more and more and more. So, like, there's extra stories for Umineko, right? There's the fan disc, Tsubasa, which did get a manga release, manga adaptation. There's a few extra stories and so on.
And there's Black Note.
Yeah, there's like a perfect good end, whatever, that he decided to write. There's but for Higurashi, he just kept adding more and more characters and just writing more and more scenarios. And then scenarios about those characters that don't have anything to do with the original characters, but they're kind of related, but not really.
There is sorry.
And like in his mind, you know, there's like a thin thread that connects them all. You know?
Also, for context,
there's straight up an entire like second version of Higurashi called the console arcs. which is just like about this entire second separate story arc about completely unrelated characters that none of you know anything about. None of them have ever been mentioned. I think one of
There
them
was a
got like
mobile
a
game.
mention.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
haven't there been 2 mobile games at this point?
No.
Probably.
Am I misremembering? Okay.
I'm talking about the gotcha one.
Yeah.
Uma
Yeah.
Musume?
No, for
No.
sure. Yeah, Uma Musume is all canon to Higurashi.
Oh my
They
God.
caused it.
Higu
They caused
Musume?
it.
But yeah, there's a lot. I actually have Higurashi. I actually forget which release it is. But I think it's like the as of now complete visual novel version of
I
Higurashi. It's
think
just
that
in
would be the
Japanese.
Switch version. Ho Plus.
Yes, I have Ho Plus, but it's the PC port of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also one thing,
Well, no,
Andy.
because the PC
This is
port
what's
does.
happening to Poppy Playtime.
Okay.
Wait, shut up, shut up. The PC port doesn't have what?
Okay.
No, sorry, it does. I'm getting
Okay.
I'm getting confused because there's Ho and then there's Ho Plus.
Ho Plus,
Which
because he had to more. Yeah.
All right, so
Very
Ryushi just
normal,
can't
man.
stop writing. That's your answer, okay? Ryushi can't
Yes.
stop writing. And
And then
supposedly
of course
the...
there's all the ones that haven't
Okay,
been
all right.
turned into visual novels. yet.
Okay, we understand. We understand. We get it. We have to move on. This is supposed to be about the time. No, what do you have? What?
Also, the time killing arc is only because Rikushi realized, oh, the rears are kind of lost. I mean, let me help him out a bit.
Listen,
Thanks,
I don't
This helped none.
really know if it helped much.
At all.
If that was the point, I don't really think it helped much,
Yeah,
except
so that's
for
supposed to be 3 arcs
like
per question.
like
So,
if
to actually answer your question, Andy.
He likes to write. Good to know.
He likes to write, and then after the answer arcs were released, there was a much shorter epilogue arc called Saikoroshi Hen that he released.
Okay.
So that's
Right.
why that's why all of the official counts are like there are 8 arcs in total, and we are reading 10.
and then we kept going because now there's Go and Sotsu and
Yeah, all the ones that haven't been turned into visual novels yet.
yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna move on from that. We're going back to time killing. I know we keep stopping to kill time with other things. We do have to talk about the time killing arc. Although I don't know if there's much more to talk about, but I guess what I'm trying to get at here is, how do we feel about this week? Oh, you know what we haven't talked about yet? How do we feel about the art for this week? The artist, I don't remember if I actually looked up their stuff. The artist for this week is Yoshiki Tonogai, who previously was an assistant for Soul Eater, and after this, they did some of their own series. Actually, a lot of their own series. They did something called Doubt, which I think I heard
I'm a
about
little
before
doubting.
somewhere from someone else. There was Doubt, Judge, I think these are all connected. Doubt, Judge, Secret, yeah. So they were doing their own psychological horror murder mystery series afterwards, it looked like, for a bit. And then they did something else which looked like a horror romance. I don't know what that's about. So they're in their genre of fiction, I guess. Even though this was probably the least horror of all of them, the arc so far, other than the mutilated Rika bodies, and then his wife dying off screen. This is probably the least, and then Rika having a scary face sometimes. Like, I mean, even the wife dying is not really a horror. It was just like tragic to see happen or hear happen. But yeah, this one stood out to me compared to the other arcs for it really not seeming at all like they're trying to imply there's a supernatural element to this shit, other than Rika knowing things that are going to happen in the future, which can easily be explained by, oh, she just was a part of the village meetings that was coordinating these things. Why did she coordinate these things? I don't fucking know, but they got the power to do it, and they could do it, and the whole village would back them up in doing it. I don't fucking know. Yeah. How do we feel about I'm sorry, I want to ramble about that kind of stuff, but to go back towards the beginning of it, how do we feel about the art for this week from that artist? How do we feel about the art? Any strong thoughts from the artist that we have in the group? Or
It's good
anybody
to
else?
see that Oshi didn't. He got better after the gas leak. He's looking much better.
He's
Yes.
looking much better.
Blow up.
I think I said this earlier. This is probably the least ugly he's ever looked. It's not saying much, but you know,
He's just really
He's
feeling
doing
himself
great.
now.
once he starts playing mahjong, he looks way more attractive. I must say. I must say.
Never speak again.
Never speak
Oh.
again.
I
All right.
think when it first started, I didn't like the style, and that might have just been how Akasaka was like drawn in the first chapter or so. But then I think I just got used to it.
Right, yeah. I liked what did I like about theirs? I felt like I had a thought about what I did like about
I liked how
their
they drew
style.
Rika.
Yeah.
I did like how Rika looked cute.
Yeah.
I liked how they drew Rika and Shion/Mion. I liked how they were done. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing I had a problem with was, of course, they're not the main focuses of this. I mean, Rika was more so, but like
Yeah.
we didn't see
really like the
Satoko at
one-
all. I don't think. Did we see Satoko at all?
We saw
No.
a glimpse of her
Oh, in like a corner or something. Okay.
when
Yeah.
Rika's talking about them at the end. We do see Satoko
Oh.
and everyone
Like how
else.
she wants to be the happy future.
Right. By the way, that was reminding me, when we saw the nurse that was talking to Akasaka, I was like, okay, this isn't Takano. But I was like,
Takano's.
I thought at first it was, but I was like,
Ancestor?
wait a minute,
No,
this
that is-
can't be
Mhm.
Takano.
No, that is
it?
Takano.
How old
When
is
he
Takano?
gets hospitalized?
Yeah.
How old is
Mhm.
Takano? She didn't seem that
You know.
old
She's a
in the
woman.
previous. She didn't seem that old in the previous version.
She's a woman.
Old enough to know better.
What? 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 I thought you were supposed to be an apologist for women.
I have to draw a line somewhere.
Damn, look, they over 20.
It's in the cafe.
It's almost like you've been
Is this-
ritualistically telling people to
this is
redeem
like-
your youth.
This
She's
is
a woman.
like this is like how many years? Like 6 years before we
like-
see
yeah.
her. And I was just like, I don't-
I got the giggles now.
I think whenever I saw her before, I just assumed she was
You're
like
welcome.
fucking like 20, like early 20s or whatever. But if this
She
is
does
6
look
years
young.
before,
I got confused by the concept of a woman aging.
well, because I didn't know if like, well, no, but I mean like, if this was 6
Well,
years
maybe she
before
doesn't.
that, then she would have been 14 and obviously wouldn't be working as a fucking nurse there. That's what I'm trying to get
So
at.
obviously she's not 20.
Well,
Like,
yes.
What's your point?
My
Yes,
point
she's
here
not-
is I'm
she's
trying to
not
say
that
that she is
young.
drawn incredibly fucking young in the earlier ones, is what I'm trying to fucking say, and you're all giving me shit for it. For trying to express my thoughts about this. Fuck all y'all.
Jeff,
What
it's
the
my
hell?
job.
Well,
to give you
as
shit.
we've established, the previous artists only have two modes: either moe child or perverted old man. So, like,
Hey,
would
listen,
you
not true,
prefer-
not true,
Me
not
too.
exactly true.
Which is like-
The curse killing artist really likes Takano. Really likes Takano. They took the time for the Takano art in that one. Okay, that one stood out more than like a lot of the other art in that one. I think I was like, damn, they really liked Takano.
I liked it though.
Yeah.
On the topic of the art, there's this one like interstitial sort of thing before one of the chapters where it's just Rika and Mion, and I really like that piece.
Say that one more time. Sorry. Say that one more time.
It's just on the topic of the art, there's this one sort of interstitial piece where it is just like Rika and Mion, and I think it's really cute, and I like it a lot.
Yeah. There was the bonus comics with Rika and Mion playing tag together, where it's actually Mion and Shion fucking with Rika, being in different places, being like, I'm over here.
One of the most memes was like, what if I brought the crab scissors with me? Oh, it doesn't work.
And then she like goes to Akasaka and he's
They're being mean. And Akasaka was like, what, in the middle of
he's like being harassed by Uishi.
Oh yeah, and the other one that Shadow said was Rika dreaming like, which pair of scissors should I use? Actual scissors or like crab shaped scissors? And then it shows her
I was so
trying to use it.
disappointed that the
It didn't
crab
work.
shaped scissors didn't work. I was so fucked up.
Akasaka's like, why do you have those scissors? Scissors? It's a crab. What do you mean? It's a crab.
What the fuck are you talking about?
These couldn't cut anything. I tried. I mean, what?
It's crab. No one would have suspected anything.
Okay. Nobody else had other thoughts about the art here, right? We're all good on that.
I really liked it as a child. Now it's fine. The way they draw Rika she's very cute. But she is pretty moe blob. Especially with the hands.
Yeah.
Like I loved this part as a child because it was all Rika, and I love Rika. But yeah, the art's just fine. Akasaka just kind of has like two modes. Like he's pretty much just drawn. It looks like he's just drawn the same for a lot of the panels, where it's just a kind of blank kind of smile thing. It's just very simple, but it's fine for this, you know.
Do we have any Akasaka stands here? Is there anybody who strongly likes the guy at all?
Did you, Chad?
I
Kill him in
like
real life.
Rika.
Rika's good. Rika's good.
How?
How?
Ni ka.
It's just such a nothing character.
Do we have any Oishi stands?
I have a certain amount of affection for Akasaka in the way that when you really love like a work, but there's this one really bad part, you just kind of end up like enjoying or being entertained by it. And it's still bad.
I was trying to think like I was reminded of Erika, not in terms of the type of character she is, but the role she was meant to play as the detective, which felt weird because Oishi was supposed to be the detective, but he's like the detective who's like not who's been like working the case for a while or whatever. So he's like knowledgeable of the stuff, but as far as we are aware, is not like actively solving the case. He's just like knowledgeable of the things and is just letting it going on with things as things are given to him for information. At least with this story, whereas Akasaka is like, you know, the detective in the sense that he is trying to make the most progress with this and trying to move forward with this. Or at least that's how the story is portrayed through his view. But he's not like Erika in terms of being able to actually solve the case. Because Erika could through her crazy methods. Akasaka was like if Battler tried to be Erika and did it, I don't know if I'd say poorly, but like not really accomplishing anything in the end.
He was just there.
Like he tried to look real cool and that didn't really do much other than give him the kid that was kidnapped in the end, which good for you, but they were about to give him away anyways, or as far as I was told, that was what was supposedly going to happen. So from my perspective, it's like, yeah, he was the main character of this arc, but he didn't do much other than neglect his wife. So I don't know. Yeah, Akasaka. He was there. He was there.
He was certainly a guy.
Now, here's
Yeah, exactly.
the better question. How do we think about Oishi this week compared to the last arcs? Did our opinion of him change at all? Did our opinions get reinforced? Or did we like how he was doing things this time compared to the other stuff? Did we feel like it connected us with him more? How do we feel about Oishi? Nobody gives a shit about Oishi, other than he's ugly.
He was like, I guess better than he has been, but that's not really a high bar to clear.
It's also, he's better than he has been because he's now interacting with other cops.
Yeah.
Because every other
He's not
time we've
just
seen him,
loitering around schools.
he's essentially just been harassing children. Like, every other time we've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, they're the only ones he can trick to talk to talk with him. Okay, all the other villagers.
That's literally it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They're not gonna speak.
That's
Yeah.
not a joke.
Yeah. Like, he sounds like he knows what he's doing in this arc, but then he just doesn't actively do things, is what it felt like. Like, he's knowledgeable of the way things are run enough to lead Akasaka to places that he wants to do to further his investigation, but it didn't seem like Oishi. It doesn't seem like he was really trying to. And when he was doing the whole knife bit to Akasaka, I was trying to be like, is he trying to get him to not investigate the case anymore? Is he trying to weirdly convince him in a way that's definitely not going to work? Like, what is he trying to do? Because I just thought he looked pretty nervous when he showed the wallet, and he was like, "Can you take me to where you found this wallet?" And I'm just like, why is he looking nervous about that? By the way, did they go to the location where they found the wallet? I don't actually remember if they did.
No, because it was. Oh, he gave a reason why they couldn't go. It was like it's like going to be a trap if you try to go there.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
I just
because
remember
they're like, okay, well, we know that your cover's already blown, but they don't know that we know that your cover is blown to them. So them leaving the wallet and you going out to get it might be a trap, and they're expecting you to do. There's like a lot of like 5D chess that they were trying to do.
And
It's like,
clearly
I kind
let's
of get
not
it.
lose the cup in front of me.
all I knew was
I kind of get it, but
Oishi tried to drive him into town wearing the most obvious fucking disguise I'm a cop trying to disguise my appearance possible for like 3 seconds when they went through a checkpoint, which the checkpoint was established by the citizens when they shouldn't have it, but they were trying to be like, oh, some trucks have come by and dumped garbage illegally, so we're trying to make sure they stop doing that. And they're just like, are they really doing that, or just saying that as an excuse? Maybe, I don't know. All I know is that whole scene was trying to be like, oh, the villagers are smart about how they're able to regulate things outside of the law. But I'm just thinking, like, bro, why the fuck do we need to disguise this guy for 3 seconds when they're all gonna know who the fuck this guy is that's driving into town, and they know that they know that? Why are we doing that? Why are we bothering?
Like the most suspicious looking thing. Like, couldn't he just put him in the trunk and then like once they're out of sight, just or like put him in the back seat, like in the floorboard, and just throwing a blanket over him or something. Like had him curl up real. Come on,
he's gotta be up front to feel the AC. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point?
Very important.
Yeah. Didn't mention it though. Didn't mention it. Didn't mention the AC. He doesn't need to mention it.
But we can feel it.
Everybody just knows. Yeah, you can feel it. Kind of hard to feel it when you're all bundled up though. When you're all bundled up and masked up.
Cop.
Yeah, true. So, yeah, I think that'll pretty much be it for this week. With in respect to the events of that, I will read the afterwards as usual here. Let me just make sure I have the right one here first. Okay. Higurashi, the time-killing arc. This time-killing arc is the fourth of the 8-part series Higurashi When They Cry. It's the last chapter of the first half, unifying the 4 question arcs. The series known as Higurashi was made in an extremely unfriendly way. If I had to make an analogy, it might be something like eating the tough cuttlefish. It's not cut in bite-sized pieces to make it easier to chew, and this arc is the one that shoves that unfriendliness into the player's face. Therefore, it's entirely up to the player to figure out how to eat it. That might be the only point where the players have a little freedom, despite the game not giving them any options. In other words, it's just like this manga version. I hope you will chew to your heart's content this bizarre world told and concluded by Rika Furude. I am deeply grateful to Tonogai sensei, who fully depicted the world of the time-killing arc in a mysterious way. Please enjoy this last chapter of the questions arc in the Higurashi world. That was
the questions arc, you say.
That was the first volumes afterward, and the second volumes afterward is Tonogai sensei. Thank you for breathing soul into the time-killing arc. The original time-killing arc is only half as long as the other scenarios, but it's an important one that wraps up the questions arc. The first half of Higurashi When They Cry. Tonogai sensei took that and skillfully livened it up in a way that can only be done in manga, treating the timing and mood with care. I feel like I've given the hand of my daughter, the original story, to a wonderful husband. That's a way to phrase it, sure. The time-killing arc serves as the fourth of the 8 stories and is in an important fixed position, holding responsibility for the story's turning point. Actually, I hadn't thought of that when I started writing. In fact, when I finished the curse-killing arc, I went immediately into writing the eye-opening arc. The scene at the beginning of the eye-opening arc, where Shion runs away, was written before the time-killing arc. The biggest reason for this arc is that I was swamped with my other job, and I couldn't spare enough time to release the eye-opening arc. And so I came up with the idea to write a short, curveball kind of episode whenever I had a minute. But when I finished it, it was far from a short curveball story. It was a straight pitch, right down the middle, with a full count. An important episode that wraps up the questions arc. Unlike what I had originally planned, I can now say with confidence that this 4th story is absolutely indispensable. With this arc, we can finally turn back around in the long story that is Higurashi When They Cry. I wonder if you're all thinking of answers, like maybe this is the truth, ... or maybe this ... You can finally check your answers starting with the eye-opening arc and the atonement arc. I hope you will all continue to enjoy the world of Higurashi. And I think... True. And I think that is it. I didn't know if the artist also wrote a note, but I don't think so. They just wrote the bonus comic thing that we talked about already. Yeah. So, okay. I will say, regarding that last bit that he mentioned, I have not sat down yet to fully wrap my head around attempting to say, now that I've read all of this, to attempt to say what I think all of the answers for things are yet. Obviously, I've mentioned things that I thought throughout us reading the series, but I haven't sat down to like come through like a full conclusion of things. Is there anybody here who does have that they would like to express, perhaps? Otherwise, I was just gonna formulate mine for next week. Next week's supposed to be like the bonus kind of segment thing.
Bonus, they say.
So I was gonna like try to come up with my thoughts for that as we wrap up the questions arc with that one. But if anybody has things they want to express for theories or whatever of what may have happened, either in each individual arc or the plot as a whole, you can let us lock in some of your theories and or answers now. I don't know how much the next segment might influence these things, mind you, but given that these were the original 4, questions arc, hints towards what the answers might be, I think this is probably a good point to try to think about that before you let the next section potentially influence that, although I don't know how much it's actually going to influence it. But anybody got anything they want to share? Maybe any thoughts they want to say they're confirmed on or something? Or
I'm pretty sure Frill did it.
who?
Frill.
Who?
You know.
Okay.
Chap. The culprit has to be one of the appearing characters, no matter how minor.
I don't have any cohesive theories right now. I can tell you what I thought the series was about from piecing it together a while ago. But
Yeah. Go on.
I think I don't remember why I had surmised this, but I think that I had been told by somebody at some point that Higurashi was about Rika being pissed that Satoko was moving away, so she put the entire village into a time loop so Satoko could never leave. um
Happens.
so
Happens.
this has definitely been wildly different to what I initially thought it was. I think I'm kind of miffed currently. I'm assuming that it's because it was probably a red herring, but I'm a little miffed that the stimulant drugs haven't been brought back up. I think it was all a gas leak. They didn't have carbon monoxide detectors back then, I guess.
It's free gas. That's the problem.
But I did want to add that the scene at the very end, I hated Akasaka. He really got on my nerves. But the scene where his daughter was like, "Oh, I hope to meet this person one day." This
I wanna
girl
be
that you're
her
talking
friend.
about, this angel. I want to be her friend, and he was like, "Yeah, I hope one day we will too." I did kind of tear up at that a little bit. I thought that was really sweet. I do think it's a little weird that like Akasaka got so emotionally attached to this like 6-year-old from this village that he went to like twice. But it was cute. I liked that scene. So that's all.
I was actually surprised that we got to see a lot of scenes with him, and I say a lot, this wasn't really a lot, but I was like more than like 2 shots of Yuki being there. There's like a whole bit where they're driving together with Oishi with Yuki there, and then they have to stop because Yuki needs to go to the bathroom, and then they want to
She
talk
washes
about
her hands the same ways that Rika does.
Yeah, and I'm just like, there's a lot that we're adding onto this for a character that I'm assuming I'm never going to see again ever. So, and then this is the daughter of a character I'm never going to see again ever, probably. So, there's like layers to this. Am I supposed to connect Yuki to all of this somehow? I'm just like, whenever I think of Higurashi, I don't think of anybody ever mentioning Yuki ever in my life. A part of me had wondered if Yuki was like a manga original thing, because I was just like, okay, detective who I'm probably never going to see again, in an arc that was never never planned to be written originally, and now he also just has a daughter that happens to live and gets like quite a few scenes towards the end. I'm like, what is this? What is happening? I don't know. I'm seeing, don't worry, she's super plot relevant. And it's an AniList link, which shows her, the character, and she's only in this arc. Interesting. You know, she could be back next time, though. The bio just says Mamoru's daughter. Which, by the way, I forgot his first name was Mamoru. I forgot that.
Again, totally
Usagi
real
deserves
sounding
better,
name.
once again.
Not that I remember, like, Oishi's other name or whatever, but I'm just like...
Kurasao or something? I only remember because it was kind of like...
Udo.
Yeah, because I kept thinking it was like Kraus.
I just remembered, like, you know,
it's
when I was reading this, somebody mentioned, you know, Mamoru, and I'm like, who the fuck is Mamoru? What the fuck is that?
Kiraldo.
That's Tuxedo Mask.
I was like, oh, yeah, I was thinking Tuxedo Mask when I saw Mamoru. I was like, Is that? Oh, it's Bungo Stray Dogs guy. That guy. I'm a what's his face. Akasaka. Listen, I can remember Akasaka at least because it's a funny, not real sounding name. It's Akasaka.
I keep wanting to say Asakusa, the town.
That's what I was thinking. What it sounds like a city name.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it is very close to Japanese city names.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking of there was a gun name that I thought sounded similar to that. Was it Arisaka?
Because Asakusa is like part of Tokyo or something. And that's why I keep getting his name mixed up with.
All right. Well, how did we feel about this arc as a whole compared to the other arcs? And then we can wrap it up with that. Anybody like this arc compared to the others? Nipa, 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 nipa.
I Rika, but also I love just how weird she is in this one. Just mask off. I'm gonna be weird.
Goofy,
Okay.
silly.
I'm cute, but I'm also gonna be weird.
And then I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna do what I
Weird
want.
and ominous for no reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a super ominous child for absolutely no reason. I'm gonna throw a pebble in the waters just to see the ripple for absolutely no reason, because I'm a normal girl.
It's called Joy and Whimsy. You ever heard of that?
No, chap, I haven't.
Joy
That
and
explains a lot.
Whimsy. Yeah.
I still like the curse killing arc. That's been my favorite so far.
The curse killing arc is up there. I think it's very much up there. I think the curse killing arc is probably still my favorite too. If I were to rank the arcs, it'd be curse killing, cotton drifting. What was the first one? Abducted by demons, and then this one probably.
Can't believe you hate Rika.
I'm not rating the girls. What the hell? I'm rating. The problem is Rika was not the main character here. The problem is our main character here was Akasaka. What am I supposed to do about that? I don't even get Keiichi to focus on this time.
Yeah, I can't believe you hate everyone's favorite Higurashi character, Akasaka.
Just reread the arc as if Akasaka is Keiichi and it'll all make sense. That's what I did.
Would it? Okay, well, all I know is I got Mahjong this week, so, that gets a couple points in my heart. It gets a couple points.
See, 6 years ago, Keiichi did something, but he was called Akasaka at that point, and then he forgot what it was that he did.
That was his
So then he moved back to Hinamizawa.
And then he age regressed. So then
No, yeah, I was gonna say much like Takano, okay, who looks a lot younger in the future than they are in the past, just like that, yeah.
So Miyuki is Beatrice because he forgot about his daughter.
Beatrice. All right.
It makes perfect sense if you don't think about it.
I never think at all about anything.
I'm trying to think about it, and then I get confused.
Did you solve the mystery yet? Do you got the answers?
I would honestly say at this point, this is much more confusing than Umineko.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank God.
No, 100%.
Okay, yeah, I mean, because Umineko was hyper focused on the genre itself of solving mysteries, murder mysteries specifically, and it restricted a lot of things to make it I think there was even
it gave you a lot of clues.
Yeah, but also I think there was one of those vague Burncastle quote things or some kind of narrator quote things this volume too, which is just who is the culprit? What is even the crime? What is the question? And I'm just yeah, that's a good point.
What is it that I seek?
That's a good point.
What am I even supposed to solve here?
From far off land, what is it that I seek? Perhaps a bank to help me crawl out of the eternal swamp. I seek but one thing. Will I gain a timely rescue or a time of death? Frederica Bernkastel. Let's
That
see
wasn't-
what the other one has.
Yeah,
That was
wasn't
not
I
the
was
one that I was
thinking of.
thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking of a different one,
Um,
which showed a bunch of people getting ready to kill Rika. Like a lot of people getting ready
I
to
Uh,
kill
think it's
here it
Rika.
is.
the second one.
Yeah,
Who
it's
is the
probably second one.
culprit, you ask?
Mm.
Obviously, the point of this story is to find that out. Who is the culprit, you ask? Do you even know what the crime is? Who is the culprit? Who is the culprit who will kill me? Dun dun dun.
I
Yeah,
think.
come on, guys, who did it?
I
It's
think.
Lambda Delta,
Answer-
obviously.
Answer burn. Yeah.
I mean,
I think. That, I think it was Mahjong. I think Mahjong killed everyone in this village.
I mean,
was-
look,
it was, like,
Burn just
metaphorical.
wants an answer. Okay. Are you gonna ignore our cute little cat girl, huh?
I'm trying to solve the mysteries. Okay, I'm trying.
All
But
right,
they
you
don't-
know I hate furries.
but yeah. So like
I
in
don't
that
think she'd want
vein.
me to ignore her.
In that, like, you know, kind of framework of it, it's like Umineko is like, okay, they're all on an island. There's this many people. These are the people who and many people die on certain nights. Who's the killer? Figure it out. Solve it. We're like restricted there. This, we're not as restricted. We're like, okay, it's in a mountain village. And they have the festival every year, but supposedly the whole village will be in on some things because of the dam project. So literally anybody at any point could probably do a crime, and the rest of the village would cover it up and lie about information potentially. So, you know, you have people who are dying, but to figure out the culprit, you gotta be like, I don't fucking, like, no, just assume the whole village did it. That seems to be where Oishi's at. Oishi's just like, listen, I know the village is orchestrating these things, but they're really good at orchestrating these things. So I don't fucking know who's doing it, so I'm not going to bother solving this
Well-
shit anymore.
And that seems
On
to
the
be
bright
the
side.
implication in the curse killing arc.
Yeah. What were you saying, Ann?
Oh, I was just gonna make a stupid joke. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Based.
Based.
So yeah,
Based
solve
on
it all
what?
right. So yeah, Andy, solve it all right now. What's the answer? Who did it?
I think it's Rika.
Oh. Why'd she do it? She killed herself too at the end? Oh, okay. Discord just disconnected me and reconnected. Okay, Rika did.
How dare
Rika,
you accuse Oyashiro-sama? How
Rika did
dare
not.
you?
Rika did not like me saying that. Rika disconnected me,
Where
reconnected me.
That means
The
we're hard
very
to trail check. That means we gave the right answer.
reincarnation of
Jesus.
Oyashiro-sama.
And you've accused her. How dare you?
I like the idea that it's a time loop for Rika. The hard part is knowing whether that or will end up being the case or not, or if there's going to be like the purely human. Because like, one of the big parts that made Umineko convoluted was that the question really was, are witches real?
Yeah.
Right? And the question of whether or not magic was at play. That is not the question here. Like, at all.
The
There's
question
not
is
a...
going on.
The
Really a
issue.
question.
The issue is here it tries to present are demons real, but it's not doing it in the way that Umineko did, where it was trying to very much fight you actively on it, you being like a stand-in for Battler trying to think through it as well, I guess, where
Right.
like Battler's trying to say, you're trying to tell me witches did it, but I'm going to say that's bullshit, and we're going to have logic battles to do it. So with that kind of framework, you're just like, okay, so obviously a real person was involved in the murders. However, the goal in the end was to showcase how the supernatural answer may not necessarily be factually correct, but it is more hopeful in that sense, which is very different from how we're probably doing it here. How we're doing it here feels less like that and more like focusing on rituals changing the mindsets of villages over time culturally, and how their communities work with these rituals over time, and that kind of framework of it, and not in the sense of like, did a demon do this? Because like it's never once even made me really think a demon might have done it. It's more so for me a question of like, prior to this arc being like, okay, the villages are clearly one and or many people in the village, or like a group or the whole village is plotting these things. But why are they doing it? Are they doing it now because they're like some kind of cult? Are they doing it because of gas leaks influencing their mindsets? Are they doing it for funsies because they did it 6 years ago and they just want to kind of make a little haha tradition out of it? Or, you know, what do some people actually believe there are demons and they have to, like Oyashiro-sama, they have to appease him, so they have to do this? Or, you know,
And I think it was kind of implied at some point in this arc that the first time that the curse was brought to life was like an official revitalization of the Cotton Drifting Festival. I think Rika mentioned to Akasaka in this arc, like, yeah, people don't really care about the festival. And then now it's like this huge thing that tourists come to every year. I don't remember if that was this arc or last arc
that
or
was
the
this
last
arc,
arc or whatever.
yeah.
So I think it would make sense if it was for like a mass mindset cultural reason. Also, didn't we mention during the Umineko stream that Ryukishi did fuck. I have a brain, I swear. Child service work, and so each work corresponded to like a type of child development, and Higurashi specifically was about group societal development or something. I
Maybe.
don't
This is
remember.
a thing I think I brought up like a while ago, near the end of Umineko. He was a social worker, and I have taken some like sociology courses, and Higurashi and Umineko, in terms of their like overall theme, structure, construction, they line up very, very closely as examinations of specific sociological theories on how a society is constructed and maintains itself. Um, Higurashi, I believe, was specifically can't remember if it's can't remember which of these words is actually correct, but it's either functionalism or structuralism. I want to say functionalism, um, and that's the idea that every part of a society plays some incredibly significant role in the maintaining and continued operation of said society. And then Umineko was specifically symbolic interactionism, or this idea that people essentially create their own meanings for things. And God, sorry, it's been a while since I did any of this reading.
I'm looking at
But
a tree. I can give the bullet points if that might help.
yeah, go for it.
So the structural functionalism is society as a system of interrelated parts, functions manifest and latent, social stability and cohesion, and social facts and institutions, which makes sense when you look at like the interactions between the family and stuff, and the families and stuff. And then symbolic interactionism is focus on symbols and meanings, social interaction and roles, social construction of reality, and self and identity. So I think like a big thing about social interactionism, because I feel like I also did some reading about it, is or maybe I didn't and I'm crazy, is that social interactionism is very much more in the idea of like the individual makes up the society, but the individualism is an important component of it, whereas structural functionalism is the idea that you are part of a society.
Mhm.
Yeah. I didn't remember, but like thinking about it in that way, now that I do remember it, might be an interesting way to go about it, especially since, like Chap was saying, so many of the central ideas seem to be about the village coming together and doing things as like a group or like a cohesive unit, I guess.
Yeah, it's very much an
know.
exploration of like social harmony as just this concept that has such an influence over all of their lives.
Okay.
Hey, Chap.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. I thought you might have been talking and we just couldn't hear you.
No. I was actually looking through a couple things for a bit because I had a thought in my head where I was just like, the implication to me prior to this week was that the damn project got canceled after the damn director got fucking murdered by 6 people and had his body separated everywhere or some shit like that, but to like each person or something. But that was a year after the damn project getting canceled potentially. If I understand right, the years I looked up the events where they reported, so it seemed like that was the year after.
Sense because the murder of the director supposedly, and we're taking most of what this is with a grain of salt. The director supposedly was chopped up to death during an argument during construction.
Yeah,
so
but not necessarily of that dam. Was my understanding. Understanding it now. I think prior to this, I had just assumed it was an argument while working on the dam project, and the director getting killed is what canceled it beforehand. But now that doesn't seem to be the case. Is supposedly the dam project got canceled in the year before. And what year was this? This is 78. And then 79 was when the director got murdered, which was the year after. I was just trying to piece it together because I didn't know if like some part of that was bullshit, but that lines up to where they were saying the director dies a year later. But prior to this, I had just assumed the project got canceled because the director was fucking murdered. But now I understand otherwise. That's a detail, I notice. It's a detail. It will help with my theories, which I will, of course, be able to fully craft now that we've completed the questions arc. I'm going to bring out my Always Sunny in Philadelphia fucking conspiracy theory bulletin board. Okay, I'm going to solve all of it. I got this. Not now, though.
Yeah,
but...
you're going to have it all done by next week, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Is it even a question? Arc. Haha. All right,
Well,
anyways.
I mean, kind of a side arc after this.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm not factoring it into my conspiracy board. Don't worry about that. Listen, anybody else have thoughts before we wrap up tonight? Anybody have any thoughts and or opinions they wish to express before we wrap it up here? All right, well, thank you so much, everybody. We're coming on again for some more Higurashi When They Cry discussions. Here at the Anime Book Club, we meet every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And we talk about 2 manga volumes per week, read through the entirety of a series together as a family. And if you want to make sure you listen into these things, make sure you're subscribed or following and all those funny buttons on youtube.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com. We also are on Spotify. I do not have a funny spotify.wolfborg.com link yet. I will establish that at some point. But you can find the Anime Book Club episodes on there as well. I think right now it's still only the Orin High School episodes. I'll probably upload the Higurashi ones this weekend, and then those will be up there. So make sure you're checking out those areas. And if you wish to become a part of the book club, either, here in the discussions with us or just chatting with us in the text chats, you can join discord.wolfborg.com, join the Discord and grab yourself the Anime Book Club role, and you can become a part of the club. We're going to be reading all of Higurashi, and then afterwards, we have planned Death Note afterwards, and then after that, we're going to be reading Monster. That's the plan for this most of this year's manga reading. And then after those, we'll probably go into some shorts for a bit.
You keep saying we'll go into some shorts.
Well, I mean, now I mean, there's no reason not to now because we have several long series in a row. So, but we'll go with
How
that.
long is
So,
Monster?
I want to say
12 volumes?
18.
That-
Death Note's 12 volumes, I think.
Okay.
Death Note is 12 volumes. Monster is 18 volumes. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's all we have this week for Higurashi When They Cry Time Killing Arc, aka Hima Tsubushi Hen. Next week we will be reading Beyond Midnight Arc, Yoigoshi Hen. We'll be reading all of that together as a family. What's gonna happen next in the When They Cry the Higurashi stories? What's the next angle we're gonna look at it from? Who's gonna be the focus next time? And
We'll finally see it from Keiichi's perspective.
yeah, will Keiichi return? Will we ever hear from Akasaka again? Will
No.
Mahjong happen again?
Oh, god damn it.
God damn it.
When are
Will-
we gonna
Oh,
get
no.
inaccurate
no.
mahjong symbolism?
And most importantly, does
Next arc is
Oishi's
after the
car
Fatal Frame over.
does Oishi's car truly have air conditioning, or was that all a lie? Find out next time
Or is
on
that the gas
Dragon
leak?
Ball Z. Oh yeah,
Oh, God.
I guess the gas leak might have happened too. Maybe, I don't know. But all right, thank you
I
so
think
much,
that's, like,
everybody, for showing up. We're gonna go raid out. Of course, we're gonna raid out to Obobo because it is Obobo's 2nd anniversary. It is the Obobo-versary and Obobo's birthday. So go say hi, hello to Obobo. And we will talk to you all next week. Next week is gonna be book club. Other than that, for my streams, Saturday, I should be able to continue Steins Gate. We'll be reading the Suzuha ending for that. We're in the part of Steins Gate's visual novel readings where we're getting the endings of the characters. So next up is going to be Suzuha's ending. So that'll be Saturday. And then Sunday we're going to watch more of Orin High School Host Club. So we watched the first 6 episodes last time, so we're going to watch 6 more next week. Or this Sunday. So that'll be at around, I think, 2 o'clock Eastern Time is what I wrote. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging. I appreciate you all. Goodbye, stream. Bye, stream. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.